Good morning. And what a wonderful day it is. So, today is not just another college day. Obviously, you're not in college, which I'm pretty sure you didn't want to be, anyways. But nonetheless, if you are here, let's make the most of the day. So, before we begin, I would like to invite our dignitaries, Principal Ma'am, and Mamania Sir as well, to do the lamp lighting. If I could call upon Aditi Ma'am, Kiran Sir, Santosh Sir, Prashant Sir, Vikram Sir. Come, please. Yeah, if I could ask you all to please stay back on the stage so that Principal Ma'am and Mamania Sir can felicitate our speakers for the day. Yeah. Sir, 2 minutes. Yeah, we are just felicitating. Yeah. So we'll start with felicitating Mr. Kiran Khalap. Next. Next, we'd like to felicitate Mr. Santosh Padi. We have with us Mr. Prashant Godbole. We also have with us Vikram Gaikwad. And we'd also like to acknowledge the presence of Jan Garin, Mr. Jan Garin from ECOL. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you, dignitaries. Please have a seat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's move on. Today, we continue our 25-year celebration of Rachna Sansad College of Applied Art and Craft, which means we've survived trends, tools, technologies, and at least 3 different definitions of digital. Welcome to our one-day talkathon, Ad Worlds, Then, Now, and Next, an event where industry meets academia, students meet reality, and advertising professionals finally admit that yes, even they are still figuring it out. Talkathon 2025 is a day of conversations and debates about how advertising has evolved from marker pens, bromides, print deadlines, to social media, algorithms, and AI that sometimes behave like an overconfident intern and sometimes a teacher. It's where experience meets curiosity, theory meets practice, and PowerPoint means actual war stories, which we just experienced. So expect insights, honesty, laughter, and the occasional "that would never work today" moment. Sit back, take down notes, ask questions, and remember, in advertising, the only constant is change and client saying, "Maja nahi aa raha hai." Welcome to Talkathon 2025, and I would like to move on with the first speaker of the day. Let me introduce him. It's my privilege to introduce a true pioneer in the world of brands and ideas, Mr. Kiran Khalap. With over 4 decades of experience, Mr. Khalap has shaped the way India thinks about brands, communication, and purpose. As a co-founder of Chlorophyll, he has helped define and differentiate over 400 brands and built 50 plus brands from the ground up, always with clarity, creativity, and conviction. His work goes from beyond marketing, from leading the brand committee for Aadhaar at UIDAI to curating a branding module for the Liverpool Business School online MBA. His influence spans national initiatives, global classrooms, and boardrooms alike. An author, TED and TEDx speaker, and a relentless problem solver, Mr. Khalap believes that design thinking, creativity, and core problem solving are timeless skills, especially in the fast changing world. Today, we are not just welcoming a speaker, we are welcoming a thinker who has helped brands find their soul. Welcome, Mr. Khalap. Please join me. Over to you, sir.
We started. Good morning, everybody. Hi. You all have had breakfast? Good morning, everybody. Okay, thank you. So that's the topic for today. There is this dance between what keeps changing and what does not change. That's what we are going to talk about. I'll speak only for 20 minutes and then we'll open it up for questions. Who's keeping tab of time? You will. Okay. Thank you. I have a very small request. This is the lady, Usha Mandarkar, who created me. So if you don't mind, 1 minute of silence, please. She passed away yesterday. Thank you. Let's start with a quick quiz to wake you all up. This is a brand that was launched in 1953. It was created in 1953. Anybody who wants to guess, you will get extra. What is for lunch today? Vada pav. You'll get one extra vada pav if you guess this brand, and you might also join chlorophyll on the board. Anybody who wants to have a go? There are no penalties for wrong answers. This was launched in 1953. Anybody? Do we have people from outside able to speak to us? No. Those who are listening on YouTube, will they be able to send their suggestions? No. Okay, anybody wants to take a guess this brand? Quickly. Extra vada pav? No. It's James Bond, right? The first movie was launched in 1962. Anybody knows who this actor is on the left-hand side? Sean Connery. And the one on the right-hand side? Extreme right, Daniel Craig. So if you look at, if you have watched, how many of you have watched Bond movies? Right. So if you remember, Sean Connery used to drink what? Dry martini, shaken not stirred. He used to be a chain smoker and was a womanizer. And look at Daniel Craig, no smoking, drinks zero alcohol beer and weeps for his girlfriend. Right? So the point being made here is there are certain things about James Bond that will never change. James Bond has to be 37 years old because he was a commander in the British Navy before he became a spy. He has a number which is 007, which means he has a license to kill. And the soundtrack, unfortunately, soundtrack is working because there is a sound here. Anyway, but there are parts of James Bond that have to radically change. As society changed, as youngsters like you started looking down upon smoking and heavy drinking, James Bond had to change himself and stop smoking and stop drinking. And as HIV and AIDS spread, he had to stop womanizing. So that is what is going to happen for each one of us. There are certain parts of our life which should remain steady and certain parts which will change. I'm going to show you 3 things that have not changed. I joined advertising in 83. Before that, I was a school teacher for 4 years. I had no clue about the world of advertising, but I joined it in 83. And from there now, Prashant and I used to work together. 3 things that have not changed, and then I'll show you 3 things that have changed since 83. Yeah. This is, Prashant will tell you, this is one of the world's most famous photographs. This was shot in 1951 in Florence. There was this tall American woman who decided to explore Europe on her own, and she had a friend with her, and the friend shot this photograph. And you can see what the point that I'm making here is advertising comes from the word advertere, which means turn mind towards. That is something that has not changed. So if you look at advertising cannot make you buy things that you don't need. However, even if somebody as brilliant as Santosh and Vikram and Prashant get together and create an ad for a comb, I will not buy it. It will be a brilliant ad, but I won't need it. So advertising can merely draw your attention to what is advertised. It cannot make you buy that thing if you don't need it. This has not changed, right? What is the second thing that hasn't changed? This is Bill Bernbach, probably the most famous, and if you ask the 3 legends that are in front of them, they will tell you that they actually think of him as the best creative director ever. This is what he said. He said, "It is fashionable to talk about the changing man. A communicator must be concerned with the unchanging man." So whenever we are thinking about communication, not just advertising, whether you call it content or Insta or whatever, you are trying to connect to the unchanging man, and that is when magic happens. So what hasn't changed is without insight into the human mind, no advertising can work. It just becomes noise. Hopefully, technology will work and I will show you an ad. वो sound देख लो भैया. हाँ नहीं. Yeah. What's that boy's name? Boy in charge. हाँ, आपका नाम क्या है भैया? राज, आप बाहर मत जाओ अभी, इधर ही रहो. थैंक यू. साउंड देना. या, थैंक यू. துள்ளி விளையாடியே மனதை மகிழச் செய்யணுங்க மகிழச் செய்யணுங்க மகிழச் செய்யணுங்க தெய்வம் தந்த செல்வமையா நான் பெற்ற செல்வமையா ஆரோக்கியமும் அறிவும் பெற்று வளர்ந்துட்டானையா மனமகிழ்ந்தோமையா நாமே மனமகிழ்ந்தோமையா இந்த மகிழ்ச்சியின் வேதனை எதுவும் மறந்திடும் ஐயா ஐயா நாளொரு மேனியும் பொழுதொரு வண்ணம் என் மகன் வளருகிறான் உள்ளங்களிலே இன்பம் பெருகிட மனதில் நிறைகின்றான் மனதில் நிறைகின்றான்
बच्चा 5 साल का हो गया.
इतना सब 5 साल में कौन सी बड़ी बात है?
बड़ी बात है मैडम. ये गुंडापा का पहला बच्चा है जो 5 साल की उम्र तक पहुंचा है.
क्या?
So you see, it's not about soap. It's about the insight about how proud, how loving a father can be. That is what you're connecting your ad to. So unchanging part number 1 about advertising, unless your advertising is connecting to a human insight, it is not going to work. Let's look at the third part that has not changed. Memory. Memory is the only currency. If your ad is not memorable, it is a waste of money. This ad was done in 1984 and everybody in advertising remembers this ad. It was released only once, right? Nude models wanted, everybody read that ad. What's it talking about is getting chubby children. But because you read nude models wanted, you immediately remember it. So this is an ad that we made. This is about 12 years old. But everybody in Shivaji Park remembers this because it used Sachin Tendulkar's favorite word, Aila. People come to me after 12 years, 15 years and saying, I remember that Aila ad. So unchanging part of advertising that hasn't changed for the past 40 years is memory. if I can get into your memory structure, I have achieved a great ad. Let's look at things that have changed. Advertising agencies don't advertise, everybody advertises. It's shocking but true. Right? It is all of you. How many of you have smartphones? 100%, right? All of you post on Insta, post on Facebook, post on Reddit, post on. You are creating communication. It is no longer restricted to ad agencies.
Come on, they're coming out! I can see Polaris already! See that bright one right there?
Right. All right. Whew. How about that one?
Oh, that's Jupiter! It's a big planet!
That's right. That's right. And what about those three over there?
That's easy, that's Orion's belt.
Huh? And that's
The Big Dipper!
yeah. What about that one?
Which one?
That little blue one, right there.
I don't know. Is it special?
Yeah, it is. That's hers.
How many of you know SpaceX? What is it? Elon Musk's thing. Who do you think made this ad for SpaceX? This was made by a fan of Elon Musk, a full-fledged ad. It has nothing to do with Elon Musk. This was created by somebody who loves Elon Musk a lot. So advertising is being no longer in the hands of advertising agencies. So that is the change that we are talking about. What is the second change? It's not about newspapers, it's not about TV channels, it is not about anything. YouTube alone, I think this is 1 year ago that I had got this number. I'm sure the number is much more now. So it has 75,000 channels with a subscriber base of 1 lakh each. Therefore, a YouTuber is able to reach more than all the newspapers put together. Right? Look at Mr. Virat Kohli, the biggest influencer amongst all Indians. I can't read. He has 274 million followers. That's more than all YouTube put together, in India at least. So it is the medium itself has changed, the people who are creating the advertising has changed. And of course, the third thing, what is called as the elephant in the room, AI, right? Samiksha, no, what was her name? Pratiksha. That Prajakta is there? Can I? Okay, doesn't matter. If it's not working, it's okay, Brad. Okay, he's got it.
Journey with us to the land that inspired the Jungle Book. follow Mowgli's footsteps through the heart of India's wilderness. Unwind like Baloo in the tranquil landscapes. Discover wisdom in the wild with Bagheera. Encounter the majestic Shere Khan in his natural habitat. Experience the vibrant culture and warm hospitality of India's villages. Embark on thrilling adventures and create unforgettable memories. Discover the magic of India, the real-life Jungle Book. Journey with...
Yeah, thank you. So that was an AI commercial made for less than $10,000. So I have no clue what's going to happen. Has anybody heard of a gentleman called Ray Kurzweil? Has anybody? Ray Kurzweil is a futurist. He used to work, I think, with Google. 85% of his predictions have come true. He predicted Siri, he predicted iPhone, he predicted all of it. And he has said that by 2029, there will be what is called as singularity. AI will be more intelligent than human beings. What will happen then? I have no clue. As he pointed out, we ourselves don't know. But this is where we are currently, that AI is able to do a commercial for 10,000 rupees just sitting on a desktop and for 2 days. So that is the three things that haven't changed. I'm on time to take questions.
Any questions for sir? Would anybody like to ask any questions?
Aditi madam has said that if you don't ask questions, I won't get power. Please ask questions.
Would you like to ask any questions?
You can even
From
ask
the
my
audience.
age if you want. Yeah.
Hold on. Take the mic.
So my
What's your
question
name?
was Parth.
Parth.
Yeah.
Parth, the whole world is watching, so
Okay.
you're going to be famous. So ask a very intelligent question.
Okay. So for the AI ad commission that you had, that you mentioned was like under 10,000. So did the client like prefer to have you have it like AI, or did like he gave you creative freedom?
There are some clients. So actually there are, if you go online and look for, there are clients who have specifically said that this new commercial that we have created has been created entirely out of AI. A lot of the audio visuals that we used to shoot earlier, now we are doing on the desk because there is much greater control and saves time and money.
So does it also like account to the client? So let's say some companies, they have this new agenda that they want to be AI friendly and they want to show people that they are coming into the new generation with AI. So for advertising, like you mentioned, that some companies prefer to tell the audience that this ad we made was like 100% AI.
In some countries, it's mandatory. I think in Europe, it's mandatory to have a warning that this entire thing is AI generated. I don't know about whether that has come to India, but in several parts of the world, if you do an AI generated communication, you have to specify that this is AI generated. So you have to separate AI tools and general AI. AI tools are things which all of you will have to use because it increases efficiency and reduces cost. General AI, which is about the intelligence part, which is general, which is about, can an AI. I saw a reel recently where two youngsters like you created a platform, created a service on that platform, found buyers for that service, and sold that platform for $1 million inside 20 hours. So
it
there
was
is no
kind of
escape
like
from
hackathon project.
the efficiency of AI that you can get in medicine, in manufacturing, in biotechnology. AI tools we can't do without. I have no clue what general AI will do, whether it will conquer mankind, not. In fact, I'm writing my 4th book of fiction, and it includes one of these dialogues between God and AI. So, yeah. Okay, I've got half a vada pav. Any more questions?
Any more questions?
What are we supposed to
Name.
do about
Name,
this?
name.
Sorry, my name is Vidhi.
Vidhi.
Yeah. So what are we supposed to do about this?
As I said, the tools you can't do without. What the other, if you have watched something like Terminator 2, what that will do, I have no clue. Nobody has any clue. So if the best commentator on this is Yuval Noah Harari, go online, check what he's saying about how AI will disrupt mankind. But the AI tools, whether it is ChatGPT or creating videos, etc., those are things which you cannot do without.
But what about our own native creativity? Don't we like seeing things that are made
Of
by
course,
us?
this is not created entirely by the AI. You have to have that human insight. What are you trying to connect to? You have to have that insight. On the basis of that insight, you have to decide the story. AI will just create it.
Yeah, but the issue is that it doesn't make mistakes. And if it does make mistakes, it's because of the AI. It's not because of you. So you don't learn. You don't grow, right?
I don't know. I do not use it for writing my book, for instance. There is a plot in my head. So I'm learning whatever I need me to learn. I don't use AI for that. So whether it make mistakes or not, that's what I'm saying. If you separate the tools are things which will help you. But general AI, the future is. So the best analogy I've seen is 2 photographs. One photograph of New York, I think it was 1905. And that street has hundreds of horse-driven carriages. And on 1906, the same street has all Model T4 cars. And the analogy is that human beings today under AI are not like the carriages, are like the horses. We have no clue that in 1 year's time, there will be no horse-driven carriages. So, no answers there.
Thank you.
Done? Yeah.
Hello, my name is Mihir. So, as you said that we need the AI tools. So, what about the skills that you are learning right now? Are they a waste of our time then?
No. I do rock climbing over weekends, and I have a friend who has given up college and he's become an editor because he edits hours and hours. And I told him, how do you make out whether something has been done by AI and something has not been done by AI, and what is good and what is not good in terms of animation? And his answer completely zapped me because I don't think anybody else could give that answer. He said, on the basis of the black in the frame, the blackness in the frame tells him whether it was done by human skill or by AI. So there will be things that you will have to imagine and get AI to do it. Now what you're learning is this, what I just said. What is the unchanging part? How do you talk to people? You cannot create advertising. You cannot do design thinking without interacting with other human beings. It is impossible. If you want to create any ad which touches people, if you want to talk to a mother, you have to go and talk to the mother. We did a toy brand. We talked to the teachers. We talked to the mothers. We went with the mother to the toy shop. We talked to psychologists. There is no way without that we could create that brand. So the skill that you're learning, how to use photography. Prashant has already started a photography workshop. How do you frame it? He once told me a very interesting thing, that his teacher told him that you go out and shoot one particular object in 20 different ways. That is a skill you have to learn. Then when you're giving an instruction to the AI, you're going to be able to say, I want that object to be seen in this particular way, and then it will create it for you.
So there are limitations to AI when it comes to this.
Yes, it is. Finally, it is tapping into everything that is there online. If it is not there online, how will it generate that? It is, of course, learning. That is what we are saying, that general AI is able to learn by itself, and maybe it learns so much that then it can take over mankind. But currently for you, what you're learning is how to connect with people. What is the meaning of colors that are there in multiple cultures? Red means something else. In India, it means something else elsewhere. In North India, widows wear white. In South India, some widows wear black. What is the meaning of that? Those are the things, skills you're learning. What is the meaning of anything that everybody does? Without that skill, you cannot create.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, a round of applause for Kiran sir. A lot to take away today, and we are just beginning and we are just scratching the surface. So the only time AI will probably take over humankind is when humans stop thinking. Okay, let's move on. So please welcome Santosh Padhi sir, one of India's most influential creative leaders. With over 2 decades in advertising, Santosh has shaped some of country's most iconic brand stories. As founder and CCO of and chairman of Into Creative, and earlier as founder of Taproot Dentsu, he built agencies that didn't just win awards, they earned deep respect across the globe, across the global creative community. Most recently, as CCO at, let me get this right, if I'm getting it right, Wyden Kennedy India? Okay. He carried forward a powerful creative legacy while playing a key role in establishing the Mumbai office. Known for his sharp thinking, fearless creativity, and leadership, Santosh brings a rare perspective on how planning has evolved from traditional to digital and now to AI-driven optimization. Today, we are in for insights from someone who has shaped the past and is actively designing the future. Over to you, sir. Can keep it.
Hi, good morning, everyone. All set? Okay, so good to have you all here. Very good morning. Like a typical art guy, I did a lot of working on the font and all, but unfortunately, the technology decided to change everything without even consulting me, without even taking my permission. So this is the kind of world we are living in today. So thank you, client. So yeah, so we'll move forward. So as we all know, I think India was a great nation. We are still a great nation in a different way. And we have created many wonderful things in the past. And some of these wonderful things are still sort of living with us, inside us. And some of the things, unfortunately, we have left it behind. So I have to do multitasking while I'm operating my laptop, which is not connected there. I also have to operate this. So I have learned this in last 30 years. So I'll keep doing that. It'll take some time because initially there were some notes which are supposed to be here, which I wanted, but again, client decided, get lost. I'm not going to collaborate with you. So, okay. So I think we still have a great legacy of dance, fashion, music, food, culture, architecture. And while I'm going through some of this quickly, I'll just run past. I think we still have a wonderful lineage of architecture, whatever we are doing today. I think that there is a great spillage of some 50, 100, 200, 500 years of architecture that we do today. There is a great sort of reflection of interior that we have in our houses. Music has played a very important role that has stayed with us, and we are proud of it. Fashion, I think, again, the way it has modified and sort of the fusion has come, but somehow the lineage has stayed with us. Food, I think we are not only feeding us, but I think we are feeding the world. Indian food is so famous. And suddenly last few years, especially post-COVID, the Ayurvedas of the world, the yogas of the world have suddenly come up in a big way. I think there are some things that we have been living 100%. There are some things like the yoga and the Ayurveda have been forced as a humankind for us to start believing in some of the wonderful things that we Indians or some of our lineage has left behind. But when it comes to art, unfortunately, I think we never nurtured it. What I mean by art when it comes to advertising, because I'm just talking to a bunch of advertising people, I feel the kind of lineage, the kind of art that India had. Look at this 52 forms of art. They are dying art. And in the last 100 years or last 50, 60, 70 years, I don't think we as a community, advertising, marketing, brands, art directors and designers has used this form of art the way some of the previous things, be it music, be it food, be it architecture, was part of our life. It's unfortunate that this beautiful art was never nurtured, and I'm going to talk more about these. Again, I think we grow up with such wonderful things around us, and I'm going to talk about one example that shows that how we Indians are always fascinated with concept, followed by craft, which obviously has to have a passion for creating something as wonderful as this or anything. And for that, I think when it comes to craft, you need to have patience. And I'm just going to talk about this beautiful piece of sculpture which was created. It took 400 years, started in 12th century, it ended in 16th century. There were many rulers. I would say there were many clients who never interfered with this piece of creation. They just allowed you to do whatever beautiful thing. But look at the audacity, look at the vision of that person, I would call it that creative director or the head of the agency, who decided saying, let's create this beautiful piece from one stone. You need to have this kind of passion and vision for something. And I'm talking about 12th century. It took 400 years. And there were other agency people who collaborated with that mindset and said, let's create this. Okay, there were tons and tons and tons of debris were thrown out of this. And the wonderful thing is it was carved reverse. I think they started from the top and they just ended at the bottom. So I think it's amazing when as a country we have such a great legacy of creating some wonderful things, and we have grown. This is just one example. I think Maharashtra itself has close to 400 forts. Each fort been created knowing where they are, what kind of enemies are going to be around, what kind of people's strength XYZ. So I think we can just talk about years on the wonderful things that India has created. So when you have grown around such wonderful things, how can you not have those things in you? I think somehow these things are there with us, but we conveniently decided to ignore them. We decided, no, this is too much of hard work. No, I don't have patience. I don't have vision. I don't want to be a craftsmanship following somebody else's direction. So I think, unfortunately, we sort of gave up a lot of wonderful things, which was sad. But I would like to compare something who we are, we Indians, with another nation, and who has blended and beautifully well. So I'm saying we have a legacy maybe 10 times more than this country, but they have taken this narrative beautifully well, where they didn't change things that were working for them. They didn't change wonderful things that was passed on as a legacy. And of course, we'll see some example where they have blended beautifully well things like old with new, culture with tech, and many other things. I think these are just some examples. And I'm talking about Japan as a nation. I think apart from they being wonderful human and a very, very progressive tech-friendly country, but whatever they have created, I'm thinking, look at these two slides. One, so much of culture, so much of tradition, so much of past. And I don't think anybody in the world can beat when it comes to newer things than Japan. So I think I'm going to take you all through some examples. And I think being in the creative industry, when you don't talk about work, you don't feel like you have fulfilled the presentation. So I'm just going to take you some examples. Quickly, I didn't wanted to challenge the client or the technology. That's why I said कि videos नहीं रखते, because I knew कुछ ना कुछ problem होगा. But I think Kiran had a lot of guts. So thanks, Kiran. So they was facing problem that a lot of younger generation was not eating rice. So they wanted to make it cool. So there is a culture tradition where when they grow rice, they said कि अरे थोड़ा boring नहीं करते यार, इसको थोड़ा कुछ visually interesting करते, and they just started creating this magnificent cultural traditional iconics by sort of coloring them in a way that the rice field looks beautiful. So obviously they sort of targeted the youngsters, saying ki you sort of click these pictures. They invited them to these rice fields, and they were giving them discounts and freebies for movies and many other things. So just look at how beautiful they have brought the culture into a problem. Again, I think we all have seen sumo wrestlers, but again, they were targeting, they wanted youngsters to come and witness sumo wrestling. Look at the output. They have just made the art so beautiful. They could have easily done with traditional sumo wrestlers, but because they wanted to appeal to younger generation, they just treated this poster so beautifully well. So quickly, I'm just going to run through. Again, food is a big culture there, but look at the typography. It just appeals to a modern guy. This is not what would appeal to a 60, 80-year-old person. It may still appeal if that person thinks he or she is young. Again, they did a campaign to sort of promote people to start using trains. Again, the beautiful color, the black and white graphic, which is very traditional, sort of spilled with pink and turquoise, suddenly makes it very arty and very new and very modern. So this is what I meant. I think every single time these guys just manage to bring in these two wonderful things beautifully well, whether it's culture or tradition. I think I have tons and tons and tons of examples. I don't think I have that video here, but I would like to say how tech has gone into so deep that the tuna inspectors who actually sort of rate tuna, whether it's a 5-star or a 2-star, are sort of dying. I'm saying obviously they are 90, 100 years old, and the newer generation has not got into it. So they have created an app that reads the concentrated circles of each tuna and rates it. Now this is a great blend of technology and tradition. Again, they wanted to promote, I think the Japan Railway completed 150 years, some 100 or 150 odd stations. They created this beautiful stamps, which has been created knowing what station's legacy is. And they did it with woodcut style. And they wanted encourage youngsters to collect all these stamps, the virtual stamps, by visiting those stations. And in return, they would get a lot of freebies and all. So again, look how the culture is reflecting in a modern way. Even a small mask, they had this Tichki of tradition. See, this has to come from the gene. I think I have been to Japan. That's why I'm sort of I have been to Japan more than 10, 12 times. So when you roam around the street, each gutter ka lid is being designed knowing where that lid is. If it's in Baikala, they'll have something to do with zoo. If it's in Lal Bagh, it'll have something to do with Ganpati. I'm just giving an example of Bombay. So each of this lid reflected the area, the sentiment, the emotion of that particular place. If there is a place which has a lot of temples, they'd have a motive of temple. If it's full of trees, they'll have trees. So I think when the nation starts thinking towards a direction, it becomes part of a culture, it becomes part of a gene. That's why, be it communication or be it doing a sticker or a lid, it will automatically come because you are living in a very creative and beautiful environment. And believe me, we are living in an infectious world, in a contagious world. When you start doing something good, it motivates people to do good. And when you do the other way around, people say, "Chhodna, wo kar raha hai," even I am okay to do it. So this is a great story of Japan. It's not like India never had. I think we had it. We lost it. Unfortunately, we were chasing something that we are not supposed to chase. In that race, we lost what we had. These are the ads maybe 70, 80, 100 years old back. Each of them, they're not models. They're consumers. In today also, I don't think a tea or a biscuit, there is a woman that has been targeted. It's kids, it's the guy who's working or guy who's in the office. But those days, they have targeted for tea, for electronics. Anyway, soap is fine. That's not a problem. But look at this slide. When was the last time you have seen today a female riding a bicycle, an entire ad being dedicated to a female? I think few decades back, we had a vision because India used to respect female. We have a huge legacy of respecting female. The Ramayana and Mahabharata was fought for females. Okay, we had that kind of respect. So unfortunately, the narrative changed. I'm look at that last ad. Now it's other way around. A female is serving tea, whereas look at that vision, look at that stance that India has taken few decades back. So as I said, we lost our stance, we lost the starting point that we are restarting today. And definitely we lost some beautiful art. And definitely one of the things that I would like to touch upon, which is very close to my heart, is the hand-painted art that India had. I think one of the very powerful mediums, very expressive, very doable, very fluid, very sticky. I think I can keep going. It's very stylish. For each movie poster, they used to do multiple because they are hand painted, and sometimes slowly it got into printing, blah blah blah. But I think we used this for good 30, 40, 50 years, and I don't know who decided. Maybe I think the Prashants of the world came in and sort of give justice to the cameras, and that's how this got killed. By the way, I think Prashant is a wonderful illustrator as well. So I mean, there are tons and tons of them. I'm just fortunate that I have some 24 posters, which I'm going to sell it after maybe my retirement. We had something great and we lost it. Okay, we never nurtured it. Look at last 20, 30 years, not a single movie came. Forget about movie. Why can't we use that art in our communication? We never did that. Why? When it resonates so much with our consumers and with our TG, one brand should have come out and used that art. But somehow I think we sort of, as I said, overlook, and we sort of look at the West for inspiration. Ghar ki murgi dal barabar. So I don't know how many of you all have seen this Loving Vincent movie. It was done over a period of 6 years. 125 selected artists were doing 6,500 frames were created. Obviously, the in-between was those days done by the animation machine. Today, I think AI will do it in maybe 6 days' time, as Kiran said. So this is the passion and vision somebody had for one artist. I'm just comparing stroke to stroke in technical language. But when we had something for so long, we never sort of nurtured it. Obviously, I think those days we used the art into many different wonderful mediums. We have stopped creating things that consumer would preserve them. I think a lot of us have matchboxes and many other collector's items, whether it's movie posters or so communication used to be a art. I would say this is a branding, this is a piece of communication. Somebody's putting a matchbox. It's the brand of that particular Mac, whether it's Crown, whether Horse, whether XYZ, whatever. So we collected these brands because there was so much of art and affection in it. Whereas today it's all about logos, it's all about branding. Now, I'm sure you guys will think, "Ye humko kyun bol rahe ho, bhai?" I think you are the future generation. I think you all have to change this narrative, which is not going right. If there are 50,000 logos around me, I don't want to look at any one of them. We are human beings, we have emotions, and art, creativity has emotion. It may sound very cliche, but this is a reality that will never change. Till we human beings behave like human beings and not machines and AI, these things are going to work. Somebody has to start this narrative and make sure that I spread the infection. I start to make others contagious. So that process has stopped. I think when we were kids, when 20 years back, 15 years back, we used to do that. I used to get inspired from these folks and vice versa. I think that process has stopped. So as I said, we lost a lot of things. These are just few examples. As I said, we can talk about the wonderful things that India has. I think I have just covered this. As a community, we lost this touch. We got too much influenced by the West. While the TV commercials, I think the Lifebuoy one, which Kiran showed, while the TV commercial had a lot of culture and a lot of legacy reflecting to it, what that man was doing is part of a culture, a belief. Whereas on the other hand, when it came to art and design, I think we were doing something that was looking like a Western thing. I think there was a gap between what one part of the creative team was doing compared to the other part. And luckily, I think today, a lot of you young mindset folks have blended that gap, which is a very, very wonderful thing. I think you guys are expressive, you guys talk, you guys want to fight over the idea, keeping the art filter, design filter in mind. But on the other hand, I think we have lost something, which my request to you all is to bring it back. So as I said, the films are doing, the OTT is doing, the theater is doing, but when it comes to art and design, we are not doing. We are typically stuck to those motifs. You can see that's an Indian motif. Typical diyas and typical rangolis and floral patterns, which are like ugly clip art. I think India has a huge legacy of some wonderful art. As I said, those 52 dying arts of India are amazing, and there are hundreds of them. They were the top selected 52. Okay, so today, any common things between these five? Anything that is common? Let me just trick you all like what Kiran was doing. So let me be Kiran for a few seconds. What is these five things? Anything that you guys feel that it's common in this? Sorry? Oh. It's me. It's me. I think when I was a kid, I got on the second or third years of my career, I got an offer from Seychelles, fifth year from Dubai, and so on. I decided to decline this because seriously, when I was getting an offer from Malaysia, that's where I thought, I know India for last 40 years. If I go to Malaysia, I will be a call center creative director who will be doing job for the globe without any heart and soul. I will be adapting a lot of ads. I will get money, but believe me, in any creative industry, money comes second. If you are talented, if you are great, money will follow. It's important. But when you give your heart and soul to your passion, believe me, this happens. Lata never went behind money. A.R. Rahman never went behind money. Any talent-based, any performance-based industry, money will follow. So I decided saying, I know my culture, whatever I know, I can't do 100% justice when I go abroad. So I've decided to decline. I think I took that call and it really paid off. As I said, I stayed unchanged. I said, let me not change my nation, my narrative, my point of view towards insights and ideas and craft, and let me yeah, those countries, there was a huge scope to learn craft. In those days, craft, India was lacking craft. And a lot of people said, you are good in craft, you should go and up your craft. But when you don't have a great body, the costumes won't change you and make you a great human being. So I decided to stay unchanged, and there was a huge payoff. And I was fortunate to carry the Indian flag because I stayed unchanged. I stayed in India after having so much wonderful offers. And thanks to, thank you. I've always believed that we have underplayed our legacy. We have underplayed our legacy when it comes to art and design. Wherever I've got an opportunity, I have done that. Be it in my campaign, be it in my small little thing. When I was given this mandate to sort of start the Bombay office at Prabhadevi, I said I'm going to make an office that will reflect India. None of the Widen 8 offices had, they all chakachak, glass, chrome, beautiful, high ceiling, but all of them looked like global offices. There was no difference between Brazil and Tokyo, no difference between the New York office and London office. I said, I'm going to make an office that will reflect. Every corner should reflect India. Sorry, I have one video. So if you can play this, I don't think it can be played. Can it be? No. Okay. So I think this had, I think Prashant had visited my office. So this had around 300 pieces of art floating in 7,000 square feet. And each of these were created by some of the art colleges from Rachna, Raheja, JJ and Asmita. So I have reached out to respective professors and I said, please let your kids come and do what they feel is right. But the brief was very clear. It should reflect Mumbai culture, it should reflect India culture, it should reflect advertising culture, and it should reflect Widen culture. Nothing beyond that. If anything is beyond this, please keep it in your portfolio, not for this gallery. So I did my best. I wanted to show that video. But anyways, as I said, I always love this saying, you can't just change your costume, you have to change from inside. And here are some examples I would like to just give. In 1981, Absolute Vodka decided to start this campaign, and it worked for 25 years. They did 1900 ads that ran across multiple countries and cities. Every single time there was a beautiful surprise, there was a beautiful story, the product was right at the center. Whether it's the flavor, whether it's a launch of a country, whether it's a music fest, you just name it. I think the first ad was done by Joe Hayes. He's a art guy who came out with the first ad. And after that, there was no stopping. They were clearly 2 decades, they were number 1 in the clear drink. Okay, I think after 25 years, again, one egoistic man came and changed the campaign, and in flat 12 months, Smirnoff became the number 1 clear drink. So again, anything that is working, don't change. Just because somebody feels it's not the right attitude for the brand. I think they lost what they have created. So there's another brand who decided to go unchanged, and that is shot on iPhone. Okay, these are user-generated content. They can talk about many things. I think when it comes to feature, they can just talk about any damn feature which they have. But they decided to stay put. They decided to stay unchanged. They decided to just keep adding this beautiful narrative every single time. It's a great learning for art directors and also the creative community. Their logo is just 0.5% of the size of the billboard. Okay, maybe probably 1%. When we used to handle Airtel, client to stay billboard ka 20% logo hona chahiye. Okay, the irony is they used to partner with the Vodafone and the Ideas and the Airtels of the world, and their logo used to come on the right. So the same Airtel logo, they'll have it in 0.5% of the hoarding size when it goes on Apple, because they used to tap with the network partners. But हमारे hoarding में 20% चाहिए, यहाँ पे 0.5%. So I think they have dictated, they have said, let's give aspiration to consumers. Let's give things that consumers love. And they have done lots of series, be it micro, be it nature, be it kids, be it XYZ. I think they've just taken the brand beautifully well. So obviously makes me feel jealous. I wish I could have done some of these campaigns. So yeah. So this is the power of yeah, it's a liability on the brand and the creative community or the agency. How do you up that game again and again and again? It's difficult, but unless you have that challenge, you rather have that challenge rather than creating something new, which is a bigger challenge, and you don't know whether it'll work or not work. If something is working, make sure you feed in the right things and make sure that the charity has been moved in the right direction. I think they have, again, more than 10 decades, 125 countries, sorry, not 125, 125 cities, because I don't think they are available in most countries, and tons and tons and tons of communication material. But every single time they have celebrated the core, which is the picture. Another thing I feel shouldn't change is the simplicity. This should never change. I think it's one of the most difficult things, but we give up too easily because it's difficult to sort of tell that story. I feel it should never change, and especially in today's world when there is a huge media clutter, when the attention span has reduced from 8 to 3 to 1.2 second, and it'll keep reducing, there is a certain power or a role of simplicity on everything, I think, especially from brand's point of view. And we'll just see some examples. This was created in what, 1981, Steve Jobs? Sorry, 91? Sorry, whatever. When Steve Jobs died, I think this was the most viral piece. And it was created by a kid called Jonathan from China. Okay. So this is the power of internet, this is the power of social media. When you create something, the world will come to you. You don't have to go to the world. Put something that is so beautiful, there'll be hundreds of calls, thousands of emails to you. And this is exactly what happened with this kid. Ogilvy, Singapore. Oops. Okay. Sorry, one slide is missing. Why, any idea? Looks like it's a Pepsi friendly conference. So because that was a Coke ad. So, okay, the point I'm trying to make is here, Ogilvy Shanghai tried and reached out to this kid, and he had one Coke ad, the Wave one, 2 hands touching, which ended up winning a Grand Prix. And thanks to Ogilvy Shanghai, they called this kid, yeah, there it is. They called this kid on the stage, and suddenly with that one small graphic, now he's the most awarded under 19 creative person on the stage. So that's a power of great work. Okay, that's a power of simplicity. Again, few examples, be it print ads, be it, again, don't think your consumers are idiots. Somebody who's putting 40 lakh rupees or 80 lakh rupees behind a Jeep, he's not idiot, he's not dumb, he's not stupid. So don't underestimate the power of consumers' intelligence. So at times you think, यार client को consumer को समझेगा क्या? Keep it. Sorry. So they did this beautiful stuff, which is a blend of two worlds, be it snow, desert. I think there's a beautiful green Jeep which is getting formed. I think few years back, Coke did this Recycle Me. Again, beautiful. I'm just imagining the client would have been so happy seeing hundreds of logos floating. So this is PS2 logos. The entire maze is being made out of PS2, which is PlayStation 2. And they have actually used those logos to form this beautiful maze. So there's nothing else, only logo. So client would have said, "Kya aur bada karke release karo." So again, a very, very brave campaign, simple, but there is so much of relevance in this campaign. I think when the entire narrative was happening, whether our foods are being processed in a right way, does it have too many preservatives, X, Y, Z, Burger King came and said ours is more natural, more organic. So they kept this in a room and they just shot this after 15, 20, 30 days. Whereas they said other brand it never got decayed, which means there is a lot of artificial preservatives in that. So all this while we were seeing foods being presented in beautiful way. You put shampoo on ice cream to make it more appetizing. You do a lot of things to make food appetizing, but these guys came and showed absolute reality, which was absolutely ugly. But there was a hard truth. There was a hard simplicity behind the message. And again, the way they have just put it was really beautiful. Again, when we talk about technology, don't make it complex. I think we are living in a complex world. Make it simple. As soon as the person would pass, the sensor would read, and the bulb would go on. Again, one of the beautiful, very well executed or brave campaigns, because it's not only challenging the kid to get up at a time, but at that point, the British Airways, that flight has to be at that point, which was a huge liability or a task on the brand also. So, but again, look at the simplicity. Be it packaging, I think they have used something from the core. In the first glance, it looks like it's meant for music. These guys, again, the simplicity being used of a brand asset. They came out with blank wrappers. You can put any customized message and send it to your loved ones. These guys decided to tie up with, again, this is a huge media innovation. They tied up with a football team in one of the European leagues, and they sort of took their jersey numbers and connected back to the offers on some of the things by just adding those small little things around the football's big number. Simple. I think Australia Cricket Association did this with Rexona. So whenever umpires wide, no, out, I think there was a Rexona logo there. We all know that cyclists face a lot of problem. So Volvo, who's known for safety, came out with this spray paint, which is non-toxic and washable. You can spray it and you can glow in the dark, which is a radium-based spray. Somebody created a refugee flag. All these are simple ones. They're like huge on emotion, but don't make it complex. I think simplicity will always remain. Look at the flag. It's simple because the way they have sort of connected the dots. One of my favorite, I think fans have been giving bloods to their icons, to their football icon, cricket icon. They at times write blood letters. So these guys decided saying we'll give back. So what they did, they sort of, every one of them gave 100 ml of blood or maybe more. And they printed this poster with RGB and the R, which is the red color being used by their blood. They sterilized the blood and they used that as a red ink. And only 1,000 posters were printed. And again, some of the lucky ones still have this. So again, there is a huge emotion, but I think the process is simple. Just replace the ink with red. So last few slides, I think any of these guys, they started as somebody, but they don't let that somebody die. For example, Michael Phelps, he started with backstroke, but he also won gold for freestyle and for butterfly. So he didn't let his legacy go. He didn't let his starting point go. Muhammad Ali, I think great reflexes, great defender. But there is something called dancing flip, which is known by Muhammad Ali. So while dancing, he would knock somebody because he will distract them. So these are all additional things that he created, that he sort of added to his base, added to his foundation, added to his legacy. Sachin Tendulkar was known for straight drive, cover drive. But I think over time, his uppercut and his paddle shot was as iconic as straight and cover drive. Lata Mangeshkar started with classical, but I think she can sing in 32 language. She used to sing in 32 language. Tumri, Sufi, you just name it and she would do that. But her base was never compromised. So is A.R. Rahman. I think he started as an ad film composer. He still do that because he knows what this industry needs. Over time, he has learned the art, the composition, the things that is needed. Again, he was a classical guy, but he can do anything: hip hop, techno, classical, everything. Last slide, I think our people culture believe, as Kiran showed that commercial, I think there was a beautiful moment where he respects that other creature, the ant. We are living in a shared world, and only Indians have this kind of emotion. Especially when you're going through that emotional journey, you will respect these values. These values will come. This is what differentiates us from the world. I think we have a certain values. We should not let go these values. Keep adding, keep adding, keep adding. Like your wardrobe, you have certain comfort wear, you have certain party wear. You will keep adding those things. So keep adding those things. So I want to end with this picture, which is so relevant to us. For a foreigner, it may be a good looking image. Obviously, I think this low rays and not great tones, but huge emotion. There are 8 mothers in this picture, and only an Indian can resonate with it. There is always the mother who is standing in the middle. The land is known as mother. The people ka tree is a mother. There is a cow, Goma. There is a Ganga Ma, number 5. There is Kali Ma. Next to Kali Ma, the number 7 is the Kal Ratri Ma. On the 7th day of Navratri, they pujo this because she is the most. So 7th day she becomes very terrifying, and to sort of calm her down, they sort of pray for that particular Ma. And obviously the 8th one, if you ask any fisherman, any boatman, it's like a cuddle. They feel that the mother is carrying them in the lap, and they also treat the boat as a mother. I think these emotions nobody will understand. These are, I'm sure some of these you were aware of, but this is what we are. This is who we are. We shouldn't change who we are. I think we are at the right time. The world is looking at us. We are changing. Of course, I think it's a huge change happening as a nation and also as a industry. So the timing is right. This is the time for us to set the new narrative, to unchange things that has unfortunately changed in the last few decades, to put out something that will remain forever. And I think you guys are the future of this industry. That's why you have to start thinking so that 5, 8, 10 years down the line, you will have a voice of your own. You will have a grip of what this industry should be. So thank you and good luck.
Sorry. Yeah, my name is Naina Matre. I head the fashion department at Rachna Sansad, and I would like to thank you a lot because looking at the AI intrusion to the art industry, we also at fashion facing this threat a lot and that is what you brought up as a topic today. So I would like to thank you for getting the attention of new age designers to this problem in the art and design industry. And I myself have wrote a paper on Rogan art, which was dying, and I would proudly say that in 2010, I was the first faculty who has taken the students to learn that art in Puch. So yes, thanks a lot for getting their attention to what we have and what we should revive first before going to the change. So thanks a lot. From art industry, I would like to thank you on that. Thank you.
Any questions? Yeah. Online question. Okay.
So nowadays, everything is getting exaggerated ad-wise. So people find, like the customer find very difficult to resonate with the ad. So how can you tackle that?
See, I think we have stopped questioning. I think at times when the client says, this is what we want, this is when we want, this is how we want. In our days, we were told that for everything you have to have few questions. Till you are happy, you can't go and create something that is going to work for the brand. So I think in last few years, we have stopped asking questions. The more questions you ask, absolute clarity will go, and that clarity will help you to precisely come out with something that will work magically for the brand. So again, I think it's okay. Don't ask me question, but at least whenever the brief comes, you should keep asking questions. You should keep arguing, because the more you talk about anything in life, the more clarity, the more sort of you will just flush out unwanted things, and what will remain is beautiful piece of art.
So you spoke about how in Japan the ads are still very dynamic and they have a blend of tradition and they still appeal to the younger generation, and how the ads in India used to be like that. They used to be more expressive and dynamic. So how can we restart that movement in India now, like in the age of AI?
I'm not saying we should overnight start doing everything that is Indian. We all have opportunities. I think whenever we feel there is an opportunity, when you're talking to somebody where that art or that idea or that culture is relevant, please keep that door open. At times we just think Western, we just think chakachak, we just think gloss. But as a human being, yes, that's absolutely fine, because when you're talking to a diverse audience like India, there are like so many cultures, there are so many Indias within India, you need to keep that filter on. I'm just saying that when we only do it through when there is Diwali, when there is Dashera, and when there is some festival season. But why not otherwise? People just become Indian during Diwali and Dashera. They are Indian. Hello. So when you're selling the food, when Swiggy is doing something, when Zomato is doing something, can you bring that cultural nuances that we all like around food? When you're selling something else. So I'm just saying that there is a great feeling that we all are proud of. That's why we are all here. That's why we love India. That's why despite being a polluted city, we are still in Mumbai. After 8 days, we miss Mumbai. So this is who we are. We love it. We love it to our core. So when somebody is loving so much, you should start bringing those unique aspects that will make them feel Mumbaikars or Maharashtrian or Indian. So these are the values you need to just arouse in them, because it's our job is to make them realize. And when you talk about emotions, it will appeal to that person. Yes, as I said, you need to simplify, you need to find that right tone at that right point of time to communicate the right things. Done?
Any more questions? No? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, bigger round of applause. Thank you, Santosh sir. That was wonderful. And I think a lot of thought is going to get generated over here. I think a lot of people will agree, right? I mean, going back to the roots, Haath Ka Kaam, we should see a lot of third year and fourth year campaigns. Haath Ka Kaam, 15 medias, no printouts. Sounds wonderful, right? Nah. Okay. Well, let's move on. Our third speaker for the day. Please welcome Prashant Godbole. A name that has shaped how India sees advertising and visual storytelling. With 3-decade-long creative career, Prashant sir began his journey as an art director of the iconic Hamara Bajaj campaign and went on to collaborate with leading agencies across the country. As founder of Ideas at Work and a highly respected photographer and ad film director, his work blends craft with deep human insight. His excellence has been recognized globally, from Cannes Lion, DNAD, One Show, Clio, 2, a historic gold win in 2024 as the first Indian photographer to achieve this honor. A multiple time Goa Fest Photographer of the Year. Prashant sir is known for his authentic slice of life visuals that stay with you long after you've seen them. Today he joins us to share his perspective on creative direction, visualization, and the role of AI in choosing the right tools. Over to you, sir. Please.
Hi. So, what is the role of AI? So, decided to ask AI only because life will become much simpler. So, I asked this question: what do you have that AI don't? Okay, so this is the first. AI has answers, we have opinions. That's the first thing he suggested. AI is efficient, we have excuses. AI will be extremely efficient. The kid saying, why you got 27 mark? He said, my brain left my body for a couple of hours. AI doesn't procrastinate. You tell him and he will do it. Okay? You guys will say, I'll do it tomorrow. Can I just, can I sleep for 5 more minutes? We have invented procrastination. And that's a good thing because then only you get good ideas. AI helped us move faster, whether it's on the road thanks to mapping or whatever. But you need to know your own path. Okay, so that's what we are. AI is listening. We have selective listening art. We can decide not to listen to your wife or your sister or your teacher or whoever you want to ignore. You can ignore it in 2 seconds. And that's a fantastic art that we have that AI will never have. AI works 24/7. We need snacks in the middle and validation. We need somebody to tell, yeah, I've done a great job. And you need those Facebook likes and Insta likes. AI is logical, we are creative, chaotic, because we can think 10 different things. And if you ask AI, he will only do one thing that you ask for. If somebody asks me to do this, I will be thinking what my girlfriend is doing. I will be doing all sorts of things. And that's what makes us human. AI is trained. You feed in garbage, the garbage will come out. So whatever you feed is what the AI will throw. So that's what you need to remember. So you should not be afraid of AI. AI is just another expert sitting, like a next colleague sitting next to you, and you are asking a question. And the kind of question you ask the answers will be, if the questions are garbage, you will get the garbage out. AI can only imitate because whatever is there in the world, whatever has been created so far, is there with the AI, but we have a capacity to create. Okay, and that's Andy Warhol painting. So how do one person become creative? That is the thing that we are going to discuss. So I went to Kiran for an interview, and Kiran asked me this question, and he has given me a blank sheet of paper. And he said, I'm going out, I'll come back after 1 hour and give me the answer. So this is what I did. I wrote this and I sat there for 2 hours, and he came after 2 hours. He said 1 hour. He came after 2 hours. He's a lazy guy. And he said, you are fit to become an accountant. You are not a creative person. So he said, there are 3,000 answers to this. I said, what? He said, yes, there are 3,000 answers. This is 6.5. This is 6.5. This is 13. This is 6.5. 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 if this is 13, this is 6.5, the midpoint. And I asked Vikram, and Vikram has given me these 20 different answers. In Gujarati, 6.5, in Hindi, whatever. Okay, so what did I learn from Kiran? You have to be different. You can't be the same thing. You can't be like any other person. You have to create your own style. You have to have your own stamp. You have to, like Paddy was saying, you need to have Indianness in us. If the Japanese are doing Japaneseness in them, we need to have ourselves in it. Okay, so this is the one lesson I've learned, very beginning, thanks to Kiran. So whenever I'm doing photography, I try and apply whatever he's taught me in my photography. So all the birds are going in one direction. I said, this guy is different because he's going in the other direction. I hope it plays. I don't know what to do.
Welcome to our Abai Training Institute. Here we don't train young girls just to become ordinary domestic help. We want them to be the best.
अरे झुको झुको और थोड़ा झुको नहीं तो हाथ कैसे पहुंच सकता है कोने तक चलो
Our Abais are placed in some of the most renowned families in the country, and there are inquiries from London, New York, and there's a lot of demand from the Middle East.
आशा भाई कल काम पे क्यों नहीं आए मेरे लड़के को जुलाब हो गया
Very good.
टाइम सेव करो एक साथ दो काम करो
It is not easy. Could make you cry. But to be the best, come train with me, Savitri Bai.
Got a business? Get a website. BigRock.com. Websites start at just ₹99.
So when this client came to us, we said we'll have to do something different. So we created these fictitious jobs, fictitious companies, and decided to advertise, and which he liked the idea. And then we said, okay, why not, appointing buys or educating buys? And this is the film we did, and it viral hell of a lot. This company sold it eventually in $147 million or something like that. Yeah. Okay, so whenever I do drawing, I apply the same principle what Kiran has taught me. 3 monkeys is equal to 1 politician. Okay, he doesn't see, he doesn't hear, he doesn't. And they have big bellies. They khate bahut paisa. They have lethal tongue. They spread criminal violence and they talk shit. So even if somebody gives you an assignment like this or some brief is like this, you create a politician which create a drawing of politician, and that's what I'll do. And that's what I do normally. Once you have an idea, I just come up with 20, 30 different options and then see what happens. This is another politician who's taken the entire building. I worked with this campaign with Paddy. Sorry, my wife has to call just now. Yeah. Again, it's when you think differently, and it's Paddy's idea, you will create a fantastically different and, as you said, Indian advertising. So everything works when it's outdoor. Basically, hoarding guys came together as an association and asked Paddy to come up with the idea. And he said, why don't we take, sorry. Didn't like me at all. Yeah, so he said, if I take this indoor medium outdoor, it will have bigger eyeballs. And that's a fantastic way of seeing it differently. It was simple, holding works, right? That's what he wanted to show, and that's what we created eventually together. Again, there's the indoor medium, which is radio, taken it outdoor, and it worked. Computers. I don't know, girls must be watching the joke or a porn or whatever, but they're enjoying it, and they're all coming together. This is a fantastic photograph I took. Thanks to Kiran again. I went to J. Krishnamurthy school, and the assignment was given to the kids to recycle anything. So recycle was the idea. So this girl went out on the ground, collected all the dead leaves, a dead branch, and created this wonderful idea. So she thought differently. Okay, so you will find this beautiful art everywhere, and that's what you need to see. Somebody's asked me to do a shit. This guy is desperate. Can I throw this phone somewhere? Okay, I think he doesn't like me at all. Anyway, so what I did was I cut the glass and created the shape, and I pasted the mirror, in slight angles, and took them on a street and shot through the mirror. And it created some bizarre perspective because mirror is reflecting in different ways. So this is the way I saw the street differently, and these are the images I got. So it looks like a work of art. It's just a single hand coming into the frame, and there is only one crow, but it looks like there are 100 crows because mirror is reflecting differently. So you see, if you create something, and then it becomes a completely original idea. Same thing here. And I got thousands of images. I shot it across Bombay. The other interesting thing I've learned in this business, thanks to 30 years in advertising, is you can combine things. You combine completely opposite. I mean, that's what Apple has done. It used to be just a watch, but they've added so many things. You can talk, you can do apps and do all sorts of things. So you add completely opposite things and you create something new. So what Arun Koletkar used to say, 1 + 1 = 3, or butterfly, because if you combine things that the existence of 1 and 2 doesn't remain, it becomes something else. Okay, I hope it plays again.
चक्का दुनिया का घूमे साधु संत बोले, हाँ सारे बोले, आदमी मशीन बना हौले हौले, आदमी मशीन बना हौले हौले, हौले हौले मशीन से डोले, 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 कर डोले हिमानी फास्ट रिलीफ, कंधा घुटना कमर दर्द मिटाए चुटकी में।
Okay, so you just combine the pain and combine the people, and it's created a wonderful idea. This is done by Ashish Kazanchi, Ram Madhwani, and I was just helping him in compositing these frames. Then I think, how do I express the same thing, combining this completely opposite smoking and no smoking together, and you can create something interesting. So you are combine the two opposite thoughts, and you can create a fantastic idea. I used to be a smoker many years ago, and we used to wait for intermission, and we used to run towards the exit door when you're watching the film. I thought this is what you are exiting the world. And then I started doing doodling. If I had to show anti-smoking, how do I do this? And it was not a brief. It was just a self-given brief saying, you just create something if you have to create anti-smoking. So these are the kind of drawings I've done. And again, it's a simple thing, is combining the completely opposite two things and bring it together to create an idea. Smoking is a leading known cause for statistics. A similar campaign once I done, shot by Sopan Parekh, who's a brilliant photographer, and I used to be art director in those. But again, it's combining how people dry their clothes. In those days, women wearing jeans was a unheard thing, and we created this posters. And it used to be called Classic Fits. And whenever I apply that principle of combination of two different things. I do it in street photography where I've seen death and life together, like a cross. Or is there a sign for bird, a speed limit? Or, it's completely opposite, a rain and parched land, or a dead tree and it's trying to catch the cloud. Again, this I thought this lines looks like a building and the birds have no trees and they're just wires. So it's completely opposite ideas. And if you bring them together, you can create something very interesting image or picture or an idea. One more thing that I've learned in this business, and these learning AI may not replicate because you have to learn them yourself, is to think out of the box. Okay? Is it going?
You got a light, mate?
Yeah, I have. Obviously.
Can you hold that for a minute? Yeah, sure.
Okay. So if you have to smoke there when you're peeing, you have to come up with an out of the box idea. Otherwise, you won't be able to light the cigarette. Okay. So this is a very famous stand-up comedian from Australia. I've just taken a part of it as a example. This is the ad we created for Colgate, which we wanted to show as the strong teeth. Again, it's completely. This is a sketch I've done when Nirbhaya happened. How safe are the women in the country? And this is one I did an exhibition in Jahangir where go ahead and cut the trees, and I added nails to the handle. The one more interesting thing I've learned to come up with ideas, and that's what you guys will learn, is think completely upside down. If you're looking straight, just turn everything on its head. If somebody says do this, you just do completely opposite, and you may get something interesting. This is a Japanese artist. This is what happens to us on the road all the time. And he just turned it upside down, and he said, let me take the revenge.
Yet they're always friendly and they're ready to please. I like Chinese. There's 900 million of them. That's what I say. Like Chinese. I like Chinese. They come from a long way. To impress. They're always friendly and they're ready to please. I like.
Again, paddy. I mean, you'll see a lot of paddy in my work here. He came to me and said, we need to do this. Again, it's completely upside down. The prostitutes are hating, or the Aya or whatever that pimp is hating times of Mumbai Mirror because Mumbai Mirror is exposing them. It's a simple idea which is turned on its head. And if you do that, then you may get a fantastically different campaign or a different idea or different brief or different product. So, so this girl hates Mumbai Mirror because she's been exposed by Mumbai Mirror. This contractor hates. Okay, and when I'm doing street photography, again, it's upside down. Again, in those days, it was unheard of, women riding bullet and the man is sitting behind. And I spotted this girl was driving, and it became very interesting. I think Bullet has called me and said, can we use this photograph on their website? I said, please go ahead. This is a picture I've taken in Australia. Normally, it's again upside down idea because the fishes are normal in the water, but the sculptor has decided to put them in the sky. So it's a very interesting way of looking at stuff. You just turn everything on its head and then it becomes interesting. The another interesting thing I've kind of seen that you think analogy, think like elephant has got huge memory and man doesn't have, or whatever. I mean, you looking at, or Kiran has, or Paddy has an elephant's memory. When you say that, that means he has got tremendous memory. So if you use analogies, and this is what my drawing is, I said my brain doesn't work that fast. So I've created this drawing, and analogy is the snail. Or the snail, same thing. How do I show a Mumbai traffic jam? Or if you have no water, there won't be any trees. And if there are no trees, there is no water. So if you know, the cracks make it look like a tree. A tree is the crack. The similar, when I was traveling, I saw this river, dead river, and I took the shot, and that exactly what it said. Again, in photograph, I keep seeing these things. I mean, it looks like it's got a clouds as a wing. I was doing this campaign for W, and this is what we created. I keep seeing these analogies, you know, tuning your ear. So the colleague was sitting next to me, and I saw this, my friend's guitar was lying, and the guitar was reflecting in the and the window was reflecting, and it was exactly on his ear. So I thought this is a fantastic idea, you know, it's a tuning his ear. So you have to be vigilant, you have to keep seeing things, you have to be more observant and apply that in your advertising, whatever you're doing. Again, I saw this dust flying, and I asked my driver to, you know, sleep on the road, and I took this shot. But it says what we're doing with our life. And there's one more thing that actually worked in advertising and in industry is humor. Let me just show you some ads.
This bottle contains the world's greatest invention, election ink, lasting for 3 weeks on the finger, which is longer than some PMs last in office. While our formula is secret, our business is transparent. Our clients are governments of Canada and Russia. The biggest, of course, being Sudan, with 4 to 5 elections annually. We say yes to equal employment and no to animal testing. Moidin, our color correction expert. Today, R&D is taking election ink beyond the finger. Badshahi hair dye, Badshahi baby beauty spot, Badshahi English signboard correction ink. As we say at Badshahi, governments may come and governments may go, but our ink is permanent. Today we are not just a company, we are an organization.
Got a business? Get a .org website. BigRock.org. Get a complete .org website at rupees 299.
So we used humor tremendously in advertising. And is there one more? Yeah.
Give it to me now.
Give me a 2 now.
Give it to me now.
Give me a 2 now.
Give it to me now.
Give me a 2 now.
Got a business? Get a website. BigRock.com. Websites start at just rupees 99.
So we are casting for the people, and I was trying to get people to say something in English. Otherwise, you know, the casting will be really bad. So this is the guy came for the casting, and he couldn't say that single word. And this is original. So we used that video as it is in the ad and paid him money. And we created a quick ad saying you want to learn acting. And on the street, whenever I see, so humor always works. Again, this woman is sitting on the car. I don't know what happened. Look at this. Ganpati is trying to burst the bubble. So I keep, I mean, this is very interesting. So humor always works, and that's what you need to, I mean, I don't know whether if you ask ChatGPT will come up with the humor. He will come up with the humor. He will not come up with the humor visual idea. And you need to have stories in whatever you are communicating. So let's try this again.
Dharma teaches us that all living things are children of God.
even if they live only for 2 days. It is with this belief that we started Karma Pest Control. Ethical pest control is a new idea. It is a new approach. You don't have to kill pests. You only help them relocate. Did you know that mosquitoes hate the frequencies of other mosquitoes? Instead of harmful chemicals, we employ aromatherapy that makes them fall asleep. Our innovation, sponge sleepers. Our technique, circle of life. I often ask myself, how many insect souls make one human soul? My guru always told me, if you kill so many cockroaches, one day you will come back as one. This is not a lizard. This is your ancestor. At Karma Pest Control, our mission is to give you a pest-free home with a guilt-free heart. Today, thanks to our website, we have saved millions of pests.
Every business needs a website. Big Rock, get a complete .org website for just rupees 249.
So the humor and storytelling, I mean, you can say it either way, but yeah. And again, the same concept of, those ancestors are coming back to your house, back to your life. And this girl used to come at 7 o'clock sharp at Worli Sea Face, and she used to feed crows. And like obedient students, they used to sit in a line, and she used to go one. In 5 minutes, she used to go. I mean, I've got thousands of pictures of her. This is my dad and mom. Been there, done that. So there is a story, right? And there's a story here where this guy is in a light and is looking optimistically up, and then the other guy is in a shadow, is looking down. And they're both monks. And in Bombay, I put the camera in the Kachra Ka Peti at the Worli Sea Face, and through these holes, they've got this Lokhandi Kachra Ka Peti. And through this hole, I saw each person is individual. So in Bombay, everybody is living in their own little world and little lives. So I thought it was an interesting story there. And there is an interesting story here, 100 years gap. And the other thing is you need to surprise people. You can't be a straightforward person. If I remove my clothes immediately and start dancing, people will remember you, correct? So this is what you need to surprise people in your advertising, then only you stand out. So let's see this.
Something about the way you feel makes all my senses real. Something that's in your touch makes me want you so much.
The new Palmolive Shave Gel with moisturizers for a closer, smoother shave. The new Palmolive Shave Gel for a closer, smoother shave.
So when I used to work on Colgate, they said we want to get away from Palmolive ka job nahi, and we want to position ourselves as an international brand. That's why those firans there, otherwise there's no difference. Yeah. So these are all the different stories, surprises that you will see. I mean, this is my very famous wild picture where the horse is, and the crow is darting like a fart. And the entire clouds are moving with this tail. And again, there's a women empowerment. I mean, this girl, and there are 4 boys trying to play with her, so I thought it was very fun. And then there's this opposite, Varanasi. And I went to Kashmir to do Adidas shoot, and I saw these guys with machine guns playing football with the kids. So it was very, I thought it was a striking story. This is again at the Lal Bagh, Kambri's studio I went to visit, and I wanted to see how Lal Bagh Ganpati is made and kind of document that and take photographs. And then I saw this outside, this Beoda was sitting, and I thought it was a fantastic story of a Kali and Shiva. don't know why it's here, but yeah, I'll just go. Yeah, it's a surprising thing here is that it looks very strange and unique and still Indian then. And finding the one number in millions of people is what we try to communicate. And again, these photographs. And then the biggest thing that you can do is, think social, because that's what actually very useful when you're communicating. So I think I shot this and then the cry bought this picture. I didn't say bought because they never paid me, but they took this picture, and basically is flying like a bird. And this is, I think, again Paddy, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just see whether the film will play. It's not playing, Paddy, sorry. Can you just see can you just push the next? Okay, it's not Paddy. So this is what we've done for the blind people.
Dintana 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 direna direna dintana dintana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna dudungana direna 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 tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna dudungana direna 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 tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna dudungana direna direna tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna dudungana direna direna tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna tana tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna tana direna dudungana direna 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 tagari dungana direna tana direna tana direna tagari dungana direna. And again, social message where Pin Garge wanted to do, Ganpatis. They said we want to do some social on Instagram and our website to create something for. So we created this flower Ganpatis and created a message of Go Green this Ganesh. And every day we release one ad, and it kind of viral hell of a lot. I mean, millions of people shared it because it's a Ganpati, a religious thing, and because it had a fantastic message on it. So these are the quick
again, Senthil, who's a creator actor, came and said, we want to say ki use surf, you will save a lot of water. Because I think apparently surf has some technology where it saves water. So we've created this kind of a glass and a well. And I went about 80 feet up and taken this shot. But it's his idea, so. And here I was shooting for Cry, and I saw this beautiful image of people, because they don't have roof on top. There is no. And the temperature was like 40 degrees. So the kids were sitting in the shadow of the dead tree. And they were moving as they. So I just hid myself. That's me, with black shadow. And I took this shot, and it's, again, some government officer, he said, called me, some minister, and said, take down this picture because it's viral in South, because I mentioned Hyderabad. So he said, take down because it's not true. I said, but I was there and I shot this. So he was apparently minister, so I didn't give him heed. But yeah, that's the truth. I mean, this is what India is, culture. Thank you. So the one thing I want to say is AI is always a fantastic. You will have them next to you as a tool. Use that tool to your advantage. You have the control of ideas, and you should not give away the power of ideas that everybody possesses as a human being, and that's how the humanity will progress. And thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Do we have questions for sir? Any questions? Yeah.
Hello, sir. So this is a very common question among the students. Like, how much time does it take to create such a creative ad?
Which creative ad?
Like the ones you have shown to us.
No, so it depends. I mean, it's not a single person's idea. It's always a brainstorm. I mean, we are always working together. Somebody has put in the brief. Somebody has come up with research. Somebody has come up with a insight. Like Kiran will always have fantastic insight. And then creative people will take the leap and they will work on it till it's completely different. So it can take months. It can take days. It can take 1 year. It can take 5 minutes. It's all here. But how much knowledge you have about the brand, about the thing, about the insight, about the consumer, that actually helps you come up with different ideas. And knowledge of art and knowledge of crafting. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir. How do you find your own circle of creative people? Like, how do you start the journey and find people that you can do these things with?
Yeah, so you have to become friends with very talented people. So I'm friends with Kiran and Vikram and Paddy because they themselves are really good. They are pushing you. I have friends in sculptures and writers and painters because they are constantly pushing themselves to create new ideas. And that actually inspires you to become like them. So it's very important to have friends who are better than you. I mean, even when we employ or even every good agency employs better people, better artists, better writers than you because they are going to push the industry forward. They're going to push the agency forward. So you always try and find the friends who are better than you or who are actually good at whatever they're doing. So whether it's a chef, he's doing a fantastic dish. Whether the way he decorates the plate, I need to be friends of him because that passion that you see in that passion should inspire you to do better. Like Paddy showed today, all the Indian stuff. I mean, it's inspiring you to think, I should think more Indian now. I shouldn't think foreign. So that's what it is. So they push each other. All the good people will push each other. So create friends who are good at what they're doing.
Thank you, sir. Actually, where do you find such friends like this?
Call Paddy.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, online, you never know. In fact, I did a campaign for Rustam ji, and I don't know whether you've seen Pascal campaign. That campaign ran for 10 years, and I got him on net. So I called him up saying, "Okay, I'm doing this campaign. Are you interested in doing illustration?" And he said, "Yes." And he was cheaper than Indian Illustrator. He has done it in 50,000. Yeah. So you'll get people on the net also. Don't worry, and boyfriends, friends. Yes. Yeah. Any?
So, sir, in the beginning, you mentioned that that procrastination might help in creativity.
Yeah.
That you said AI doesn't do that.
Yes.
But can you elaborate more on that? How come it's actually more creative?
The more it's called dragging feet. I mean, if you go to any good artist, first he will say, "No, I can't do it." That's a dragging feet. Why? Because he doesn't want to lose his face. He wants to produce only the best. So that dragging feet is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. If you take the idea, and then the moment he starts seeing thing in his head, then he says, "Yes, I can do it." But if you're not clear, if you're not procrastinating, if you're not pushing yourself, then you're not thinking, you're not creating. Okay? So you have to have a clear-cut idea in your head what you're trying to achieve, and once you are clear, then you can execute. If I ask AI to create an illustration like this, and I feed that, he will create illustration like that. But if I go to Illustrator and say, create something completely new, he will take time. And he will say, no, let me just think whether I can create to start with. Completely new. And then if he says yes, then he'll say, yes, I'll do it. Or I'll attempt it. So what he's doing is he's procrastinating in a good sense. It's not laziness. It's just you're just dragging your feet.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir. I was just very curious. I've always seen your work, and I wondered ki when you do street photography, and you just mentioned ki how you see things differently, things aligning on the street. Like, do you tell the crow to stop, like because you saw it there, or a man to just go back, stand there? How do you do that?
No, so it's a practice. What you do is you constantly observe, and that's the most interesting thing everybody should do. If you start observing, if you start seeing it carefully, what is happening around you, you will start noticing things. Otherwise, you will ignore, because once it's not there in your head, if I have to climb the stairs, that means in my head I have to climb the stairs. When I'm walking on the street, I'm looking for stuff that will happen. So I'm anticipating the crow will fly from here to there. The man is standing there. It will be perfect on his head. I'm anticipating, I'm seeing and observing what is going to happen, and I'm waiting. I'm being, patient. And the moment something happens, I'm ready to click. So it's very easy, but you have to practice. It doesn't happen like that. So you have to continuously take about 1,000 pictures a day, walk around, and consciously tell yourself, I want to see this way. And then you'll start seeing it. Till that time, you haven't told yourself, I'm going to see, you'll not get. If I'm walking, I'll not see anything, because you are walking with your ideas in your head. Constantly, something else is happening. Now, right now, I want to pee, but I'm talking to you. Yeah. Yes, of course. Guru. Yeah.
Hello. I know that you interact with AI systems and ask very interesting questions. Have you ever asked any system like, "चल आता मला याच्यापेक्षा चांगली idea दे"?
It doesn't.
It
doesn't
doesn't.
understand, because he has only information what is available on the net. So he's just dragging it, putting it together right now. Maybe AGI happens, who somebody's talked about to Akiran. Once the AGI happens, that time, if he starts learning, then he will learn from his mistakes. So that's about 2-3 years down the line. It will replace everybody else's job, because it will think better than you can think. Because he has got so much information and so much knowledge that it will close down colleges, it will close down universities, it will have no jobs, because the machine can do it cheaper. If a creative director is earning 2 crores today, similar quality you will get it in 20 rupees. That's the difference. So you have to be original, you have to be creative. And ideation is only the tool you have that will separate us from machine. That's what I was trying to say. Given it's not going to be because it will learn faster, because it's learning from the world. It's not learning only from you. He's just putting things together and making it better.
Thank you.
Any questions? No?
They heard me right.
Yeah.
I want to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. Now, I would like to call Mamanya sir to have a few words with the audience. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I was prepared since morning that I was being told that I have to speak something. So I got up early in the morning, I started putting some things on the paper. So I started the good morning speech and all that, but by this time, I think it's noon. So I have to just change a little bit over there. And I was wondering, that's I was supposed to speak in the morning, and then I saw all these creative peoples and they have this idea of cutting, putting and editing. So I was wondering that maybe my speech was edited today and I'm not supposed to speak. So I was off the things. I said, no, it's pleasing things that I'm supposed to be sit quietly today and not say a word today. But fortunately, I got a little chance to speak now. So that space has been given to me thanks to all of you, the creative directors and creative people out here. So I'll start with my esteemed guest today. We have a lovely people here from the industry. Then we have lovely students, my dear teachers, and of course the guests we have today from different parts and the different institutes out here. 25 years of excellence is not a little time. We have a path of 25 years, a Silver Jubilee celebration of knowledge, growth, and dreams fulfillment. Proud to be a part of this legacy here today at Rachna Sansad. On the momentous Silver Jubilee year, we celebrate 25 years of unwavering commitment to academic excellence and holistic development. As you know that we have so many departments here with at Rachna, so we look together. Today we have faculty from architecture, from fashions and other departments too. This milestone reflects the tireless efforts of our esteemed faculty, unwavering supports of our parents, brilliant students, and the inspiring success of our alumni. I think quite a few alumni are here, and that's an asset what we have at Rachna Sansad, who are mainly significant strides globally. I think we have people, from Dubai and some Canadian and other things. We had this year as a part of Silver Jubilee celebration. We have been connecting with them and we are being proud of our alumni for that. We remain dedicated to our vision of empowering minds and shaping leaders, carrying forwards the torch of knowledge and values of generation to come. And at Rachna, this is what we are being achieving from time to time. In continuation of this journey today, we have these stalwarts with us and they are being connected with us from whenever we are being calling up, and they are being with us and spreading their knowledge and experience with us. We are thankful to all of them. I'll not be taking much of your time, as we know that this entire year of Silver Jubilee, we have been talking about this achievement of Rachna Sansad from time to time. And I think there are few speakers again after me to speak about. So once again, I'm very thankful to all of you to come to Rachna Sansad, give your time, your knowledge, your experience with our students. And I'm thankful to all my faculty members tirelessly working throughout the year to make this year a very successful year of what we did in last 25 years to showcase us to the present students and the other people who are watching us today on live. So once again, thank you very much for doing a wonderful job and taking us to the path of this Silver Jubilee year. I think there are many more such events are going to come up, and we are looking forward to that. Thank you very much once again for making this event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to call upon our principal in charge, Aditi ma'am.
So, very good afternoon. Same as Sir has said, today we are talking about technology, and we have proved that it is definitely a boon, but at times it takes us backseat too. So, what we thought of starting with a good morning welcome speech had to be a afternoon speech. So, but it was indeed very pleasant. So I take this opportunity to thank all of you to have taken out time to come to this August gathering to be a part of the celebration, the 25th year Silver Jubilee celebration of Rachna Sansad College of Applied Art and Craft. So we are at a juncture where we are in a confusion whether technology is about to take up the creative role. And we, as a design institute, have taken up this opportunity to lay out a platform wherein we can listen to our stalwarts from the industry, from the advertising agencies, who have been the flag bearers in their scenarios, and a very eminent mentors guiding, supporting us all through to discuss about this very important topic of advertising then, now, and in the future. So, of course, one thing was definitely clear from all that we have heard from Kiran, from Paddy, and Prashant, that definitely AI is a tool, a very faithful, very intelligent tool, but the one thing that is predominant is the creativity. We need to find the humor, we need to find ourselves, our souls inside us, and identify the creative aspect, the storytelling that only comes in a human being. So, students, as future creatives, creative heads of our nation, the world, be creative, be human. That's all we want to say. We are looking forward to the next session as well, wherein we would have a debate or a discussion of ideas between our stalwarts and the Gen Next creative heads. So that would be again a very interesting and a session that we are all looking forward to. So thank you. Be in tune. We'll take a very short break and we'll come back for the session. Thank you so much. We are honored to have all of you over here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Couple of announcements. Please pay attention. We are taking a 15-minute break starting now. No food is allowed inside the auditorium in this room. So the food arrangements is outside. You can have your meal outside, but do not bring anything inside the auditorium. Right? Are we ready? Yes. Thank you very much. Your time starts now. Just checking. So we're back. We're back for the debate and the second half of our program today. And I would like to call our dignitaries on the stage as I call out your names. Kiran sir is already there. Let's give a round of applause for Kiran sir. Prashant sir. Santosh sir, please come. Also, I would like to introduce our joinee for the day, Vikram sir. Let's hear a bit about him. Mr. Vikram Gaikwad, a creative force who has shaped Indian advertising for over 3 decades. A graduate of Sir J.J. School of Art, Institute of Applied Art. He began his journey in Lintas in the 1990s, going on to lead creative roles at some of the most influential agencies in the country, including Leo Burnett, Grey Worldwide, Lintas, and also the co-founder of Creative Land Asia. Today, as co-founder and CEO of Underdog and co-founder at Centric, he continues to build future-ready brands through sharp strategy and creativity. With hundreds of awards, including 5 Grand Prix wins and jury experience at Cannes Lions, his impact is both deep and global. Beyond advertising, his work in type design, including fonts for Microsoft XP, Windows XP, reflects his rare ability to blend branding, communication, and typography. So let's give a round of applause for Vikram sir. Next, I would like to call our fifth panelist for the day, Durgesh Nandini Naik, a copywriter who brings sharp thinking, quiet wit, and thoughtful storytelling to her work. Yeah. A bit more about her. Currently at TBWA and originally from Odisha, Durgesh Nandini is navigating and surviving Mumbai one brief at a time. She has worked on brands like Shoppers Stop, Tata AIA, JSW Group, and L&T, crafting copy that balances creative clarity with character. Outside the agency world, she is a proud introvert, happiest with books and movies, where fictional characters are often far more predictable than real ones. Yes, let's give a round of applause for Durgesh Nandini. And our sixth panelist, please welcome Neil Thakkar, Senior Art Director at Centric, or as he might currently put it, currently jobless. What isn't missing though is the work. Neil has made his mark with 3 curious first list mentions, a curious young blood first list, a gold at Do Good Awards, and a silver for Millennial Achievers Design Professional of the Year. Titles may come and go, but talent, craft, and recognition like this tend to stick around. So let's give a round of applause for Neil as well. Thank you everyone for being with us on this panel. Just a quick brief as to rules of the engagement over here. We are going to have a debate, so to speak, but it is more of a ideas exchange, thought exchange, and learning what advertising can do for these young people, young minds over here. So we would love to have this interaction going. We have a couple of questions sourced out from the students, from the audience, who put together a group of queries, so to speak. So we've collated that. I'm going to keep asking them one by one to each of y'all. But it's not restricted to just that person. We would love to have point of views and ideas about what you think matters, or what that question could really, how that question could really change the thought process. Great. And Kiran sir, we know that you have a time-bound thing, so I will put a hard stop at 1:25, so you can leave, and then we'll continue with the rest of the panelists. Yeah. So, advertising didn't change formats. It changed power. Ideas once shaped culture. We spoke about a lot about culture and how it impacted India or the Indian advertising field. And today culture replies in comments more than anything else. So my questions to Kiran sir first. Is long-term brand building still relevant in this age where performance matrix and virality is all that is counted?
There are two books in branding and advertising which have uh, reset how advertising or how branding works. One is called How Brands Grow, What Marketers Don't Know. And the other is The Long and the Short of It. The Long and the Short of It is a book that has come out of UK on the basis of close to 2,000 pieces of research on effectiveness of advertising. And at the end of it all, this is 10 years ago, this book, but most people around the world, most marketers around the world have confirmed that what it said then is still valid. And there, at the end of it all, they have lots of case studies to talk from. And finally, they have arrived at this thumb rule of 60-40. 60% brand building, 40% performance marketing. So one is, if you call it strategy, tactics, whatever you want to call it. This is also confirmed by all the brands that were launched there. For instance, about 10 years ago, the US was the leader in launching e-commerce brands, and they would laugh at traditional brands because they were able to sell on Amazon without a physical distribution system. Very soon they realized that it is not working. The ROI, the return on investment, was dwindling massively through performance marketing. The same brands which are laughing at traditional brands or legacy brands are now available in Costco, in Walmart, in Tesco, everywhere. So it is a lesson which has been validated that just performance marketing after a certain time gives dwindling returns, and you therefore need to tell the story of the brand. It's proven. It's not my opinion.
It's a proven fact, as you say.
Through research.
Right. So any of you all would have a take on the same?
Kiran is the god.
Kiran is the god. But I think I agree. Performance marketing maybe 40-30, but it's proven, and on the way forward we are also, I think, maybe going towards that side, but the power is still there, that 60-70%. I agree with that.
Right. So do you all think that the traditional medias and the mediums also play an important role going forward? Because we keep getting these questions even when we are going through campaigns for students, third year, fourth year, that अच्छा ये media क्यों ही करना है when I can just put a post and get the results instantly. So what is your take on the media front or as far as brand building is concerned?
I'll just go.
Yeah, it's an open forum, so anybody can answer.
I'll try to simplify this and put it in a human context. Our bodies need protein, carbs, fiber, iron, calcium, magnesium, blah, blah, blah. Every brand should decide what is the protein for them. You cannot only survive on protein. You need to have magnesium, you need to have calcium, you need to have iron, you need to have vitamin, everything. So today, unfortunately, fortunately, you have to have your presence everywhere. You cannot build a brand by just putting a post. It's a short-term thing. Okay, I'm out. When I have time as a consumer, you need to just pull me in by doing some brand work. So that's why I said today you have to have a lot of muscle media power, lot of presence, lot of money, and that's how brand has to be built. Unfortunately, or fortunately, again, some years back, it was few mediums. Today, because of the offering of platforms, you need to have your presence. So I think this is what the reality is.
Right.
I just need for everybody here to, so that they never grow irrelevant. I think that is critical, whether AI or no. There is a very famous creative director called David Droga. He created an agency called Droga 5, which got bought over by Accenture. Do you know the size of that agency now? Look, 10 billion US. He's just retired. And he had this beautiful 3-word thing saying, solving, not selling. And I think when you're asking what is the future for them, if you all want to become relevant, you will have to become part of the solving agency and not the selling industry. Selling is not working because between brand and stakeholder, there is a new entity called peer group. So that peer group is, how many of you use Swiggy? When you want to go to a new restaurant, you won't go to the new restaurant. You'll go first to Swiggy and see what are the comments. When you want to buy a new camera, he buys 2 cameras per day. When he has to go and buy a camera, he will go to Amazon and see what the reviews are first. That's peer group. So be very clear that you are entering an industry which has to solve. Selling is not working. You are being pulled out. People are telling you that this is lies. How many of you know a guy called Food Farmer? Food Farmer calls out lies of anyone. Advertising करके कुछ फायदा नहीं, because Food Farmer comes there and says, look at the back of this pack, they're telling lies. So that is one part of what the future holds for this bright young students. The second part, building on what Santosh is saying, is it is not about which, the medium is not out of context. You have to be on the medium where your target is. If you are going to make 10, sorry to come back to my favorite food, 10 vada pavs per day, it is okay to be on social media. If you're selling Lifebuoy, you have to be on TV because TV in India is still the cheapest CPT, cost per 1,000. You cannot not be on TV. Not even YouTube can give you that level of exposure. So it is not either or, it is and also. You'll have to just check where is your target audience and you have to be there. 90% of corporates today use Instagram to hire people. Why Instagram? You're a corporate. But because the people whom they want to hire are on Instagram, so you'd better be there. That's so good. Now we have, when Chlorophyll does it, we used to do LinkedIn. Now we realize that Reddit is a big platform. Most of them are on Reddit. Tomorrow there was a platform called Mastodon. You might be on Mastodon. So you have Cosmos. You have to go where your target is. Yeah, sorry. You'll have to take the mic away from me because I can keep on talking for a very long
Given you space. That's
I think Neil has some thoughts on that as well.
I agree with you with like branding, like first question being branding and traditional media, but like if you are supposed to go to your target audience and if as advertisers we work for money and say if you are doing a hoarding or a print ad, it costs lakhs and lakhs of rupees per day. If you are doing a TVC, which you are saying about, like, you know, the effectiveness is more. But if I'm posting on a Instagram reel, it's costless. It's free of cost. If I make a LinkedIn post, it's free. So for a brand manager, when he's allocating budgets, it makes sense for him to invest in creativity also when it's for hoardings, for newspaper ads, when it's for, you know, traditional media, which are more costly and more legacy based, as opposed to the newer mediums. For posting on Cosmos, it's basically free. So where do you price that ideas, those insights? What's the cost of an insight or an idea? And as advertisers, because you all own agencies and you are the one selling, like, you know, quoting prices to them, what should be the price of an idea or an insight for an Instagram ad versus a hoarding ad?
I think the life of the post, especially when you're doing advertising, is like zero. Because you're just, if I see ad, I hate it. Sorry. Okay, it's all right. So, you know, being in advertising, I hate advertising. I just push it out. So the life of ad on Instagram, because it's sponsored, it's even, you know, because the moment I see sponsored, I know they're trying to sell me something. Okay. So advertisers today, I mean, the clients realizing is that doing sponsors ad is actually a waste of time. That's why they went to the influencer. But this people suddenly realize influencers are not the original creators. They're just the guys like you and me. They're not trained advertisers. They doesn't come up with a brilliant idea. They're just killing the brand identity or the values that is there around the brand. That is also failing. Okay. The third thing is there are too many lies on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube because whatever comes to your mind, I can put it and nobody will. So the brand will become more and more wary about the authenticity of the communication. Okay. So these are the three things also determine the cost of the thing. That's the problem. I mean, and because life is so short, it's like a 1 second rule. If I don't grab the attention within a second, that thing is wasted. I mean, it shows you got so many views. It doesn't mean people have actually interacted with it.
Correct.
So ROI on the return on investment that they'll put is very less. Where there is a information given, where there's a interesting nuggets has been told, if there are stories around it, there is a traction. And slowly people will realize, the advertisers will realize what is required to do on this space. Right now they're just in the learning phase. And it is going to change, it's changing fast. AIs will create stuff within seconds. They can create 100 posts a minute, which you can't even fathom, right? And what will work, what will not work, nobody knows. So the traditional media, there is a guarantee. Like you said, there is a reach. There is and also the moment you see it on a newspaper, you think it's real. Today, you're questioning that also. But there is a period where if it comes on the news, if it's somebody, saying it, then it has to be true. Today, I don't know, I've just seen my friend Dana, he's eating vada pav, by the way, with Modi. And he's created an 8-second film and he's posted it on Instagram. And suddenly the guys who really don't know, they think, "Arey, this guy is eating vada pav with Modi." And tomorrow people will Modi is having some affair with somebody. I mean, that's what it is. So there is nobody is actually controlling that. That is also a problem. So there are several things that is happening within the industry that is going to affect the cost.
So would it be charged differently? Like, say if you are a photographer, say you're charging for a hoarding, so you shoot it in that aspect ratio. I know you spoke on Good Art Matter about how now each client comes to you and then they crop your image for a social media post, and that just devalues your craft. And okay, so I might also have a question. You can clear me out on this. For brand building, I understand traditional media is way more important because that's the truest form. But if, as you said, for 40%, it's more performance marketing. Like if I pay 50 influencers to dance on Tauba Tauba will become famous, and then you have a sale for bad news. Same for Durandar, if I make reels on this particular topic, if it picks up, then you have sales for this. Like, is that true? Is performance marketing more based on newer forms? Okay.
If I hammer it, and if I keep saying it 20 times, you start believing it.
Correct.
So you can't. So same thing happened with Durandar. It's an awful movie. If I say that, I mean, it's my opinion, right?
Yeah, you can elaborate on it.
I have 2 points here. Whether you do traditional medium or social, if your creativity is basic, it doesn't go anywhere. Please drill this in your heads. It's all about quality of content, conversational content, things that sticks around with consumers. Because you're talking to human beings. If that doesn't resonate or doesn't click, you're forgotten. Maybe there are views, maybe 5 billion views. But how many of those have actually penetrated inside, stayed with you as a brand? Extremely important thing. Otherwise, for hygiene levels, many brands do it. I'll just give the brand that we handle, Chups. For months, we have been doing social media. There is a certain cost that you need to put to boost it. They have been putting that money. It reaches out a certain few thousand people. After that, what? It's a routine. After thing, I'll just pass it. If the content is all about product, chappal, it's not going anywhere. If you want to build a brand, we created India's first biodegradable billboard. It was a traditional medium. Offline medium came to online and people picked it up. So that's the power of any creativity. And it's other way around also. You create something really massive, beautiful and great idea on online, it'll go offline, it'll go on TV, it'll go on newspaper, everyone will carry it. So that's a power, or that's an era we are living with. One medium have a spill over another medium, only and only if it's sticky, creative, beautiful, new, fresh, relevant. Otherwise, this is all wastage of money.
I've got a specific question for both the parties over here. We got these Gen Zs over here. I'm going to say it Z, not Z. Gen Zs over here. We've got business entrepreneurs over here. I'm going to call you all business entrepreneurs as well. So, like to be called lovely. I'll do that. Creative entrepreneurs over here. So, specific question to both the parties over here, so to speak. Okay, we got AI coming in big time. Okay, it's coming in way hard, way fast, and ever evolving. What is it that as creative entrepreneurs do you look at in the Gen Zs to bring them on board, to hire them? And Gen Zs, what are you bringing to the table that they should hire you? Anybody can start.
Very clearly. So, once upon a time, people used to say, do not keep saying millennials because they are not too different. But currently, I think we get a sense that Gen Z are different. I think I attended a conference in Beijing, and there was a agency from LA which had done research on Gen Z, and they showed us photographs of all the Gen Zs from 6 countries. Not one had black hair. There was pink, green, red, something like that. So there is a very clear difference. Language that they speak, I have no clue. If I go to him and say, you're looking really great, he's going to look back and say, what does it mean? But if I tell him, man, you slayed it, then he'll say, yes. Now this, until the notion that there is a different language, there is a different culture, we have no access to it. So I will need somebody of that type. When I joined advertising, I worked on Surf, I wrote 21 commercials. It was the transition from print to television. And if you look at the 90s, all the ad agencies that died are agencies whose creative directors did not know television. The same will happen to us if we do not know how to speak to Gen Z, which is a large population. So we will need them to understand what is trigger. We were discussing earlier, anytime I have a conversation with a Gen Z, normally when I write, I put the exclamation mark at the end of the sentence. For Gen Z ka message mein, starting mein there are 10 exclamation marks. Now you don't know how this happens. So there is a different language, there is a different attitude. That is why we would definitely need them.
Wonderful, wonderful. Vikram, what do you look for in the portfolio?
Portfolio, actually, this Gen Z thing is completely different. When in someone comes for the interview, it's other way. I am not taking her or his interview. She or he is taking my interview. Okay, which brand? What brand you have? And to summarize all these things, money part. And they wanted so much money that in our old way of thinking, I said, okay, fine, thank you. Then, but what I look for, I know we are talking about AI and all, but I think whether his or her portfolio is good, whether ideas are good, that intent is there, passion is there to learn something. Those 2-3 things are matching, then
you're in.
Yeah, then he or she is in. But the other side, their filter is completely different. And the biggest challenge in currently is to get a good talent. So sometimes what happens that even if chalo theek hai, I can okay,
you take my interview. But as long as your portfolio is good, your ideas are good, you have passion, you have everything, something is matching, then I can compromise. But that is very, very, very rare.
Otherwise, you'll have to ask them, how much will you pay me to hire you?
No, and yeah, I mean, this is it's a tricky actually, it's just, but we have to go with the flow. Things are changing, we also have to change.
Yes.
But it is different.
Let's hear Durgesh.
Yes.
I just wanted to say, like, as Gen Zs, we used to hear all the horror stories from ad world, like how things used to be back then. So it's like we try to create a boundary, or like, lack of better word, boundary. But like, is it that difficult to understand Gen Zs? Is it like things, okay, like a lot of our seniors used to be like, हमारे ज़माने में तो ऐसा होता था, like we can't leave before our CD leaves up, you guys just leave by 7 o'clock, and we are like, but we are done with our day's job, and like stuff like that. So do you guys think that it's wrong for Gen Zs to like have a set of rules, or like changing patterns, or like breaking things, like rules that has been there for a while?
Arun College, still Arun College there. Yeah. I don't think so. It is, I don't think all Gen Zs are the same either. There are similarities amongst all of them. I'm rushing into the answer because I have to leave. So there is a very famous creative director called Arun Kale, one of the finest creative directors. There's an agency called Rediffusion. He created advertising which is still lasts today. He would stand outside the agency at 9 o'clock. If you weren't in before 9, you went back home. That even for us it was shocking. That's the way he was. That's his understanding. Because when he grew up, that is how he. I don't think chlorophyll has no problem. We all work from home. So you 5 baje so jao ya 3 baje so jao. I have nothing to do with it. So long as you deliver. I don't think it is difficulty that we are talking about. So what Vikram was talking about, there is only one word, relevance. How relevant is your input to that group of people? I keep telling everybody in chlorophyll, please understand, I am not paying your salary. Each one of you is paying everybody else's salary. If you don't do your work, you're actually cheating everybody else. That I don't think you need to be a Gen Z or a millennial to understand the value of not cheating. That's the way I would look at it. I don't think there is any difficulty in understanding. Personally, we have no problems about. In chlorophyll, every month there is a new CEO. Each person who has joined, Gen Z ho ya Alpha ho ya whoever, they have to become the CEO of chlorophyll for 1 month and bring about new changes. I don't make those decisions. They make those decisions. It's fantastic. They are leaders and say it is your responsibility to be a leader and make sure that all these 30 other people who work with you, you do something valuable for them. We do free work for NGOs. I'm on the board of 4 NGOs. They love it. They say, I want to work on that NGO too. So there are many things which are common between all of us, whether Gen Z or no. And there are certain things which are uncommon. I don't think there is difficulty. We just have to be, I think the biggest word that in my life, because I come from the J. Krishnamurti thing, is the word that Prashant used, observation. Observation is the greatest tool available to the human mind. End of story. If I look at him and observe what he is doing and do not judge it, I will learn much more about him than he tells me. That's the way I look at it. Okay, and there is a client of mine in Hindustan Lever who used, even to the people in London, he used to say, "Itne paise mein itna hi milega." So Thank you very much. It's a fantastic audience, fabulously arranged show. Great idea. The only thing I was telling, who was doing the bite, that I'm not very sure Talkathon is a correct description of what is happening. It is more dialogue. Because if you let us talk, boss, you don't know what you have invited yourself for. You'll be here till many days.
What we'll be inviting is a larger audience.
So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, and we continue.
So I'll just add to what Kiran said. I think it's all about relationships. We as a human have different kind of relationships with different people.
Right.
I think how do you develop that relationship with your office juniors is extremely important. Because the reality is India's average age is 29. So when such realities are there as business leader, creative leaders, it's extremely important we are mindful that we have to bond with them. There is no two ways about it. When you're talking to a larger audience who are young, you have to be young as an agency by nature. Whether it's now or earlier, I think when Taproot was launched, we had 17 youngsters under 3 years of experience and just 2 co-founders. And we were the rocking agencies then. Because we realized the importance of this young blood, this young energy. It's the same story today. Now, if you are extremely important, if you're extremely talented, I will make different ways for you. I will allow you to leave at 6. I will allow you to work from home because you're super talented. Because there is a huge relationship that you have got into with the agency. You're super talented, that's why you will have these leeways. It goes with clients also. If that client is super creative and very friendly, I will do that artwork overnight. This is not a standard thing for your 20 other clients. So you need to get into that relationship. You need to find that strength. Again, when you're hiring, I think to the previous question, I'm looking out for different weapons that as an agency I should have. So if I'm looking for an arrow, that person should be sharp, should be mindful, should have a speed, should have all those things. Because I'm hiring for a purpose. If I have a insurance client, I will not get a person who have a enthusiasm for sports. It's a misfit. So when certain brands come on board, you find those people who are right for that. Then there is a great sort of seamless marriage that happens and the work comes out seamlessly well. So yes, some guys are good in insurance and sports as well. So it's not like a person is only good at one thing. That person could be good in 5, 8 different things. Again, when I'm hiring in those days, we used to ask this question, Acha, portfolio acha hai, what are your other creative aspirations? Do you love music? Do you love this? Do you love theater? Blah, blah, blah. I think that narrative has changed. Now it's all about, do you know editing? Do you know this? Do you know that? What are the other multitasking things that you have? In those days, Photoshop was the biggest thing. Corel Photoshop aata hai? Aaja bhai. Now you need to have 10 different mediums because that is the need of the hour.
Yeah. Now you'll have to ask how many AIs do you know?
Correct. AIs and different mediums, different tools and different expressions. Yeah. So
it's changing every third week.
Yes.
So the new models are coming, the new updates are coming, and you have to be more adaptive. So those guys who are more willing to learn the newer technology, those kind of people will push for more.
So just one, that word stuck, that horrifying experience.
It's just...
No, I'm just clarifying that. See, there is always a jigsaw that fits in the right place.
Yeah.
You should find which is the agency that will celebrate your work. Extremely important. If you're a good swimmer, you can't run a marathon. Hello. So you have to find a beautiful pool for yourself where you'll enjoy that. Your swimming should effortlessly become your passion, your profession. So find that place. Today people are just saying, okay, this agency has good glory, good accounts, but you will be not working with the complex, the building. You will be working with a team. Please figure out who's your immediate boss. Who are your colleagues? Because they are your daily inspirations. So please be the way I think they are finding a great talent in you. You should also find if you are the right fit for that. Extremely important. Otherwise, then I think you have to swim on a marathon track.
Again, you said that कि हमारे ज़माने में. So it's see in my agency, I have to tell my art director, अरे विरार जाने का भाई 10 बज गया अभी निकल कल सुबह कर. मतलब it's again what he said, 19 people, youngster and all. It's all agency culture. How every agency has its own culture. So it's not like just because one person said that कि हमारे ज़माने में, so all agencies are like that. You know, the context can be different. If I say that to my art director कि अरे in our time we used to do, I mean, if my art director gives me one layout only and this is it, so I don't have choice. But then we used to, there's an explanation. We used to do these. Then, so the context can be different. But don't say that कि हमारे जमाने में मतलब all the agencies are. Maybe there's the experience. It comes from the experience. Yeah. Please.
हमारे ज़माने में, this guy who's sitting at the end of it, he tortured me for 6 years. He was my boss. I was the one trying to go home. Okay, but let me tell you this, that everybody, all art directors, copywriters used to leave. Prashant and Zanwan used to be still working. We all went home. They were working. Okay. And there were many times that we looked at what they were working on and we felt like hanging around. We felt like saying that, Aigla, mala azun ek layout just bagu de he kya karte the. So that culture, it was never thrust upon us. The insecure ones are the ones who say that, acha, jab tak ye nahi jayega, main nahi jayega. It's nothing to do with that. It's work. And that is what Prashant taught us without saying so. You know, so it is hanging around or whatever. It's not horror stories. वो है कि काम करने को मिलता नहीं था जितना वो करते थे उतना. More like
another thing, Prashant was my first boss. And my first assignment and brief was to create an identity for one LB Express courier. And Prashant briefed me, "Arey Vikram, I want 300 logos." And I literally worked for 2-3 months, more than 100 logos. Each logo was different. But I was doing it passionately and I was enjoying also. But that is how the relation also with boss and, you know, the learning thing is there. But nowadays you don't get to see that. And this was a time when there was no computer.
Right.
So we used to do manually cut paste, letter set, and then take a Xerox and then re-Xerox and reduction, enlarge and all.
Yes.
So time was different.
Yes, definitely.
Sorry, last thing about Prashant, then I'll shut it.
You know the wonderful part is there are 3 generations sitting over here.
Everybody is trying hard to make him feel old.
I'm going to make
My boss, he's my current boss.
Let me make him feel even older. You know what? So, me, he's my mentor. He is his mentor. So, there are 3 generations sitting here.
एकच horror story सांगतो, जास्त नाही सांगत. We were supposed to do some stupid layout for BPL mods. Okay, so Karthik and I were working on the layouts, and he said 40 layouts banana. 40. Okay, so we did almost 40 layouts, different ones, you know, typography, curve, वेगळं alignment, सगळं. हातानी, of course, काय वेडायगा? No computer, no AI to ask, give me 40. नहीं. So we did everything. Then we went to this gentleman. And then he looks at it and says, nice, now let's do some layouts. And he did one layout which was better than all 40 of ours later on.
Of course. It's wonderful. Okay, that's great. So, coming to the, yes.
I understand the difference in culture, but I have a roughly found question in my head about the difference in work that we do. Because earlier when you all were working, I feel it's more creative work because you're working with hand, you have a lot more time and tenure to finish one project. Now if you are supposed to knock out 20 social media posts in the next 5 days because of a launch, the work pressure has increased a lot. And then the ideas or the larger goal is not unified as a team working towards social media posts. It goes towards one person. Oh, this is what I'm knocking off. This is what the other person is knocking off. So what's your take on the difference of work and how the culture has shifted through the work?
Okay. So, any new client comes to us, what we do is we said we need 1.5 months to come up with ideas in the beginning. If they don't want to listen to that, then we say go somewhere else. In that period, if it is a social, in that period, we will do the entire year's work. So, if they're expecting 10 posts a month, I will create 120 posts. And I'll create those verticals and say, okay, if there is a Christmas, then we will be posting this. If there is a Sankranti, I'll be doing this. If there is a knowledge I need to share, then I'll do. So I'll create a silos within those 120, and I'll create a plan for the whole year. And we will have a basic. Once the idea is cracked, then we just create the whole thing. That we present. And then there will be slight back and forth saying, this is not right. And that can be adjusted. And we're still managing 120 posts, which is what your issue was. The guys who says, I'm briefing you now and give me in 10 seconds, that's only I can do. Which they will give you mediocre stuff. But when you're thinking through for a month, you're putting 10 heads together, we're all thinking towards the same goal, you will get different ideas.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just add, Neil, this 20 posts a week or a day can't be the only culture of the agency and the brand. Then it's a toxic culture. Not needed. Ideally, we should sack these people. Even if we are like you, jobless, taking a break, absolutely fine. We are living in an era where, as I said, everything is needed. So today, this week, 20 posts karna hai, karenge. You have to better yourself. Okay? I know it's not right. But as I said, you have to do better things also. You have to do one post that goes viral. You have to also do a 10-seconder, which is beautiful. You also do a 30-seconder. So as a creative person, we should be able to do everything, because at times there is a need. If competition has done something, humko bhi karna hai, we should do it. But if you're only doing this thing, then you as a creative person will never grow. The agency cannot be titled as a creative agency. See, there are two different agencies today. Earlier, every agency used to be a creative agency. Today, there are service-led agencies, there are creative agencies. Unfortunately, the service-led agencies has grown up, the creative agencies have come down. Very unfortunate, because creativity can be a business mantra. Creativity is a business strategy for years, for everywhere. I mean, look at what Kiran said, Roga 5, pure creative. We will do only this kind of creative. If you want, please come to us. They had put out a great statement. I mean, great, because you know your strength. I can't take everything that not my strength. If tomorrow you want something that I'm not capable, I'll be disaster. So know your strength and deliver accordingly. Same. So coming to this point again, I think as a creative person, you should try and do multiple things. 30% of them would be bullshit, but absolutely 70% should be great. If it's the other way around, still okay, but slowly you should put that 30% and make it 50%, if not more.
Great. Thank you so much. So one last question before we open it up, and we are running short of time. So one last question for all the five of you all. Even with your experience, the longer duration experience versus the shorter duration experience. One question is for the benefit of all the audience sitting over here. If the students over here want to get advertising ready for the creative field, for the industry, from your experience, short or long, doesn't matter. What is it that they should know as an advertising rule, and how should they break it?
I think there are many questions in this question.
Yeah, I tried to sum it up.
Please join. I think because there are many questions, I'll say many answers to this. One, I think storytelling will never go out of fashion. Even in a 3-second, you have to tell a story. I'll give example of a can winning 5-second commercial done by Vodafone. Those days when the incoming was not free, you'd get charged. and it was huge. So it's done by London Vodafone. I think, if I'm not wrong, DDB London has done it. So a daughter calls the father and says, "Look, I'm pregnant." He says, "Okay, bye." This is storytelling. A 5-second ad, and clearly they have come out and says, in our case, there is no incoming. You won't be charged for incoming. So there was the offering, and they offered in a very human, beautiful narrative. That's why it's been 20 years, and I still remember that. Now, can you do that on social media? I don't know. Maybe audio, not audio. There are logistics. But storytelling will never go out of fashion. Today, I showed those absolute ads. They'll work beautiful as post. Every single day you put one post. It's that kind of simplicity because it has story. It has whatever your flavors, your countries, your X, Y, Z. Everything is there. So when you get into the human inside, when you actually what Kiran said, when you get into the problem solving things and put out your solution in a most creative way, it will work.
Great. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I mean,
Same thing.
We're all. The thing is that the most important thing is idea. Another important thing is that idea can be executed simply. What is happening in social media today? It's the simpler it is, the easier it is to people to understand. It's basically towards the mass, right? Because you have 1 second. I cannot do complicated idea, layered idea, and then expect them to understand within a second. Okay, so there has to be a simplicity in his presentation also, he said. So these are the things are very important.
Sorry, before I give it to Vikram, one last thing. I think we have been coined as creators. What does this mean? Hello, get into the depth of this word. We are supposed to create. We have become adapters. Yes. We are not creating anymore. And you can only create by experimenting. We have stopped experimenting as a community. At college level, we don't experiment. We used to do mad stuff. At times so mad that, sorry to say this, professor used to not get aligned with our vision. But this is what a traditional gap is, and ideally it should be there. So people who were disaster in college, they are doing fabulously fine into this industry during my time.
I agree.
Yeah, so I think it should be there. It should be there. So only when you experiment, you have the courage to put out your point of view, to listen to somebody's point of view, and fight out that. This discussion, debate is extremely important. Because when you go to a real world, you have to put out your case. And the more you are prepared, the better you win.
And there's no
debate, not argue.
You have to practice whatever you're doing. Whether you're doing illustration, whether you're doing writing, if you don't have the habit of practice and experimenting with whatever you can create and trying out different things, you will never achieve anything. Right. So you have to. There's no alternatives.
The alternative.
It's better to experiment and fail rather than copy and fail.
Correct. Copy and fail is the worst thing.
Right. Yes, Vikram?
He had said that storytelling, if it's there, you'll remember. Maybe the format is different. Maybe it's a medium is different. But that core has to be there. Yeah.
Great. Neat, your take.
I remember the last part of the question, which was, what is one rule that you would break for them?
So the question is simple, that these guys are all going to head out someday in a year or two, maybe next year itself. So what is it that they need to prepare themselves with? How they should prepare? And if they have to break a rule, advertising rule, what should that be?
The college teaches you to work alone. They'll give you briefs and expect you to come up with answers alone. But I think in advertising, we all work with people and we have like teams. So working with your friends would be the start.
Working with friends, okay.
I think I'll give the most Gen Z answer, which is to have fun, guys. It's a business, but at this end of the day, it's creative. So please have fun. Try to enjoy the process. I agree with the panel on like practice or like to create something of your own, but it's a journey and it's going to be a very memorable one. So all the best to all of you guys.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, panelists. We are short of time, but we have to call it a day. Would have loved to continue this for at least an hour more, though I'm hungry. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, before we close, if I could call Mamania sir and madam, we have to felicitate two of our panelists, Neil and Durgesh. Right. Thank you. And I would like to call upon Vivek sir to give a vote of thanks.
So thank you, sir. Thank you all the speaker for coming here and talking about the very crucial subject today. So thank you, Prashant sir. Thank you, Santosh sir. Thank you, Vikram sir. Thank you, our very own Neil and Durgesh. Thank you. And we thanks our management, architect Arvind Mamania sir, for his always support for us. So thank you each and everyone. Thank you all the institutes who are come here, all the HODs, and especially thanks all the students. These days, especially we have organized for you people. So thank you a lot. It is not just this event what we are organizing. There are lots of other activities are coming as we having our 25th year. So next month we having our annual show. So please do come for that. And there are again a lots of activities. So we will keep you updated about that things. We thanks PL Deshpande auditorium for make this auditorium available for us. We thanks all the light man, sound system, cameraman, and all the faculties and all our supporters. So thank you once again. and and thank you obviously Nikhil also for hosting this show. Yeah.
And also for all the volunteers, the volunteer team, thoda awaaz karo. The social media team, thank you all, and thank you everyone for being here. Thank you panelists, and let's call it a day. Good morning.
All of faculty, please.
If you could ask the faculty members, please. Faculty to please come on the stage.
I missed Saurabh. Saurabh, please. Saurabh, please. No. Saurabh, please come. Please. Wherever, but you have to be part of this picture.
शेअर तुम्ही बसणार सर मी तुमच्या मागे उभं राहणार मी तुमच्या मागे उभं
Thank you very much.